So hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, and it is Sunday, which means it's the Demetra K Show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better, right? And so today we are going to be talking about the unfortunate fiery crash that took place in Los Angeles, California on this last Wednesday, where they're saying 6, but actually it was 7 people who died in that crash. And so we want to talk about it with the aspect of it being avoidable. Of course, you guys are probably wondering, what am I talking about? Donovan doesn't know either, so don't feel bad. But we're going to get into it. I'd like to say a big giant thank you, obviously, to Donovan, the recovering Democrat, for being here. Also to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are the third co-host participants, because we feel like you should be heard as well, which is why this is probably one of the only shows that reads each and every comment. And, you know, we're going to try to read as many of your comments as possible. As of lately, it's been kind of hard to do because there's so many comments, which we are so grateful for you all for doing that. And so, Donovan, before we get started, what say you?
Hey, I just want to say, if it is Sunday, here we are again. It is the Demetra K Show. Welcome, everybody. Welcome our co-hosts. We are also one of the only shows that the people who come in from around the globe come in, and you guys have co-hosting duties. So if you got a 1099, be prepared. You're going to need a 1099 because you have another job. Hey, do us a favor, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Also, if you want to be notified of great content and from Demetra, go ahead and become a subscriber and become a member. We would love to have you here. That's how I keep up on a lot of my information. I get updates from Demetra and some of the stuff that she does post. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, and all of your podcast platforms. So do us a favor there, join there as well. So this is going to be an interesting topic. I did see it as it was broadcast on the KTLA local news, Channel 5. But I didn't really get into it. I mean, in Southern California, Demetra, and you know as well as I do. Oh, another crash? Another day.
And also, I'd like to say a big giant thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scenes on Facebook to make the show go further. So if you are in a Facebook page or something and you are seeing us, please click on the link if you want us to read your comment. And so before I get started, who do we have on here? I see Gilvetta. How are you doing? Good evening to you as well. Yes, we are going to talk about Nicole Lennon, above, beyond it, forever. How you doing? Well, we're not going to blame anybody, really. Well, there's somebody to blame, but not who you think. Marshawn, how you doing? Long time no see. Moni, you want us to wish you happy birthday again? I thought your birthday was last month, but okay. Happy birthday. And Robin, Michael, how you doing? Asada, Thunder, what's going on with you? Tawana, and Lion of Judah, how you doing? And Jay Bubba. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have seen a lot about this crash that took place. It was a fiery crash is what they're calling it, in Los Angeles, California, actually on the corner of Slauson and La Brea. And I'm going to show you guys a video clip, so bear with me here at that. Here we go.
A horrific crash caught on camera. A black Mercedes plowing into a Los Angeles intersection Thursday afternoon, killing 5 people, including a baby and a pregnant woman, plus injuring 8, according to authorities. The cars erupting in flames.
Saw things flying in the air and the explosion. All of a sudden, there's a baby flew in the air all the way from the middle of the road to my pump, landed on the floor.
The destruction widespread, with dozens of first responders rushing to the scene. Of the 8 people injured, 6 were minors, including a 13-month-old baby. Most were treated at Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, and all currently recovering from minor injuries, according to authorities.
It's very obvious from the video everyone's seen at this point that it was a tremendous high rate of speed. At minimum, at least 50 to 60 miles an hour.
The driver of the black Mercedes suffering major injuries but surviving the crash and now in police custody. California Highway Patrol arresting 37-year-old Nicole Linton of Houston and forwarding charges of vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence to the LA County District Attorney. Witnesses at the scene shocked by the carnage and beginning to mourn.
There was no brakes, there was no horn, nothing to indicate if there was something wrong. No one really knew, except within another second, the explosion occurred.
And Aaron joins us now in the studio. Aaron, I know this is very early in the investigation, but is there any indication that she might have been under the influence?
Well, it's one of many outstanding questions at this point, Gotti. California Highway Patrol telling NBC's sister station that shortly following the crash, she was administered so much pain medication that an on-site toxicology test was actually not possible. So still one of the many outstanding unknowns at this point.
All right, so I just want to put this up here. So give me 1 second. So who you're looking at there is actually, she is the woman, a 37-year-old traveling nurse. She lives in Houston, but she has a nursing, I guess, license to practice in Texas and California. She was in California at the time. Now, a friend of hers went on camera saying that they were with her before the crash and that she was upset. And this is also her sitting on the curb. So you guys saw that accident, and that was her able to sit up and, talk. So basically, she did not sustain the injuries. Obviously, everyone else did. Okay, so her friend said that they were all together before that, and she was arguing with her boyfriend, and she was upset, had a lot to drink, and then, went doing what she did. Now, some other people also said that she had sideswiped their cars on the way there. And some people are even saying that she was going faster than 50 or 60 miles an hour. Some people are saying it was probably 80 to maybe 100. It was really fast, right? As y'all saw, she was supposed to be at a complete stop because the light in her direction was red and everyone else had permission to go. All right. And so they did arrest her from the hospital, and they're holding her and arrested her rather on vehicular manslaughter and gross negligence. Now it'll be up to the DA tomorrow to go forward with what they actually want to charge her with. But again, they're saying 6, but actually, as I said, it was 7 people because Asheray is the 23-year-old mother. She was pregnant with a child, and they were actually on their way to a prenatal appointment. And she was going with her boyfriend, Reynald. I think that's how you say it. He was 24. He was also in the car along with he wasn't quite 13 months, year yet. He was going to be shortly. Armani. No, the new baby's name was Armani, and the 1-year-old was Alonzo. And so we don't know who the other people are just yet because there are 3 people. I think they said 2 women and a man that also died. As y'all saw there, a woman said she was pumping her gas and she saw the baby come flying out of all of that onto the ground, and she picked him up, and obviously he did not live. And so I want to go back to that of her arguing with her boyfriend. And again, this is her friend who was with her saying, that's what it was, and she was drinking. Now, when I say that this was avoidable, I mean by practicing emotional intelligence. Okay. Now, some of those signs of emotional intelligence is being self-aware, like knowing who you are, right? Like, I don't know what her argument was with her boyfriend, whatever it was. Let's say it was the worst case scenario. He, was cheating and he got 20 women pregnant, whatever it was. And sometimes she said, okay, that sucks horribly. However, and she's a nurse, for God's sake. They said she's an ICU nurse. So she sees stuff like that all the time, right? People coming in there with all kind of injuries. So at some point in time, she said, it really sucks, whatever I'm arguing with my boyfriend over, but I'm not going to be drinking. I'm surely not going to get in a car, mad and drunk and doing all of that. Other part of emotional intelligence is self-regulation. Put yourself in check. Say, you know what? I'm not going to do anything stupid. And the other thing, and I'm not blaming her friends, but clearly she was inebriated to the point of what she did. Was there anybody there to say, hey, Sit down. Sit down, you're drunk, whatever the case is, right? And so let's have a conversation, obviously, about this and what can we do as humans, because we get bad news all the time, right? And sometimes we want to, blow a gasket, freak out, and, harm ourselves and maybe others, or a lot of it is unintentional like this was. But what can we do to be, more emotionally intelligent, more self-aware, and how to self-regulate ourselves, because we should not ever, ever, ever hear about anybody losing their life in this manner. In fact, they said the sixth person, at first they was calling it 5 people. They found the 6th person burnt up in the car. So they didn't even know another person was in the car. People standing there said they can hear people screaming, and it was just horrible. So Donovan, what say you?
Whew, that was a very telling video, same one I saw a couple days ago.
Oops.
I'm going to say this for the people in the comments. They have some good comments. I'm not going to take too long in my commentary. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to say is the most that she's going to get is manslaughter. Okay, because she didn't do it intentionally. It was an accident. So she's going to probably get a severe case of manslaughter in the 6th degree, 6 victims or whatever. Now here's a question I have, Demetra. 6 people got in the car, and let's say 4 of them were adults, and not one of them said, hey, you're drinking, I'm going to drive, you just chill and we'll get to where we need to go. I mean, whenever I'm with my friends and some of us are driving, there's always one person that doesn't drink or, is whatever. And that's the person that's always driving. And I don't have a problem with the person doing that, or we just don't go. So I don't understand that. Another thing that you pointed out was she's 37 years old and she has a boyfriend, which is her right, whatever. Usually at 37, you would think, you'd be settled and whatever. Not ladies, it's not a thing or whatever. But the great Kevin Samuels was talking about things just like this. 37 years old, you got a boyfriend. Grandma got a boyfriend. There's something wrong, with a lot of where we're supposed to be at. And I know women, you want your careers and stuff, but at 37 years old, boyfriend or no boyfriend, married or not married, you should think you would be more mature with your emotions at that time. So let's see what the co-hosts have to say, and let's get into it.
All right, I wanted to put their picture up, but it has hers too, I think. But I want y'all to see the family as well of, who was affected by this horrible. Okay, so give me 1 second here.
Yeah, this is totally horrible. And being burned up in a car. I mean, when I was in the Middle East, I smelled a lot of dead bodies and stuff, burnt bodies, and that is not a great smell to smell.
So yeah, that's the family is like, so a whole family, right, is gone. Let me move this out the way. Little cute little baby boy, and then Asheray and Reynold, I believe that was his name, and she was pregnant with another baby. So they were all killed in that accident. So yes, let me get to y'all comments. Thank y'all so much for being very patient.
And I just want to put a quick plug in there. This is another reason why Black people should, if you can invest in weed and alcohol and whatever drugs that you do and whatever extracurricular activities that you do, you should invest in insurance, because you don't know when your ticket is going to be called. And the people that survive that, the medical costs, all the stuff that's going to come in, we've got to start getting our people into insurance. The number one reason 70% of white people have money is because they invest in insurance.
So yeah, they did have a GoFundMe. They were aiming to raise $100,000, and they have surpassed that. So I'm going to get to y'all comments. And so Pioneer, you say, I knew it was going to be something about her being angry over a man. Man, some of these women are so jealous. It's something else. Well, yeah, the other thing is we don't know, why they were arguing. I guess we can really only speculate at this time. And Darius, how are you doing? And Miss Jessica, thank you so much. I did go to my P.O. box and I got the donation that you sent. So thank you so much.
Wait, is that the same donation now that you're on your way to Paris?
No. But thank you. And you also say, at first they were saying 100 miles an hour. That is always traffic at that intersection. Yes, very, very busy. intersection in Los Angeles. And yeah, they were saying 100 miles. To me, it looks faster than 50 or 60 miles an hour. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Robin, how you doing? It says good. She should be charged for all the deaths, including the death of the unborn child. I totally agree, because sounds like, she was pretty, far along from what I can understand. And Chris, for U.S. president in 2024, how you doing? He says, we need to wake up. There are people breaking spiritual laws to do criminal acts. Okay, well, do tell. And Belinda, how you doing? He says she needs to be under the jail. And Darlene, how you doing? He says, sure was avoidable. Absolutely. And JT Devereaux, how you doing? He says, women love men who make them feel this way and do this. Well, I wouldn't say women love men who make them feel that way. I just think, she's 37, old enough, she's got a great job and all that, was driving a Mercedes. And so she seemed like she was doing well for herself. But as long as you don't know who you are and you're not self-aware, you don't know how to regulate yourself, you're going to have triggers to where people are going to know what to do and what to say to you to get you all riled up, right? But I can't think of anything bad enough for me to get in my vehicle and drunk and drive like that. I can't. And I've had some pretty bad news, in my 51 years of life, but I can't think of anything that bad enough to make me want to get in the car and do that, right? My mom used to always say hindsight is 20/20. Now looking back, I'm sure Nicole, that's her name, it's like, wow, shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? So absolutely. And JT also say this is why good men can't, you said most, I think you meant take most women seriously. Well, again, we don't know why they were arguing. We don't know. I'm sure maybe it'll come out. Maybe the boyfriend will come out and say whatever it is. Sounds like he's in Houston. Robin says, we nurses take an oath to do no harm. She knew better and should face consequences. Sorry, not sorry. Absolutely. And Chris, you say, have you heard of spiritual currency by making animals or human sacrifices and using the blood to take innocent human life? Yes, I have heard of that. And Miss Asada, how you doing? Yes, you know what? I didn't think about that. You said, seems like a suicide mission. Could have been, because they said she didn't hit the brakes at all. Like there was no sign, as y'all saw. It didn't look like she tried to stop. It was just like straight through. And there she said, I heard about this incident from a friend of mine yesterday. There's absolutely no excuse for this traveling nurse, quote unquote, to have taken the action that she did, which resulted in unavoidable multiple deaths. And Mata, how you doing? He says that was like a botched suicide. It could have been because, she seemed like she was fine. They arrested her, from the hospital. And as y'all saw her sitting there on the curb, she, it usually seems like it's that way, right? The driver of such horrible things seems like they're always fine. And Moni says she killed somebody. She needs to do time. And with her being a nurse, this is sickening. This woman has to do school, has been to school, gotten her license, and then you become reckless that you're causing injury. Yeah, in death, right? And Lion of Judah says, go on and hike and climb to the top of the mountain and scream and shout, not driving stupid and reckless on the road, killing people. Absolutely. Or you're sitting there with your homegirls, because a friend was there. Have a talk with them like, oh, this mother, woo, get on my nerves. But where were you going? Where were you going? And JJ, how you doing? Says, I'm surprised she survived. Me too. I just knew for sure she was gone, but no, she seems like she's fine.
Yeah, there's a Simpson episode that kind of explains why people who are under the influence usually survive crashes. It's like their body is not as tense when you're inebriated and stuff. And so, they kind of shock absorb the crashes and stuff. It's a real weird thing, but it's plausible. I'm not saying it's true. It's just plausible.
Yes, indeed. All right, so I'm going to get down a little bit to some of the other people I haven't seen to not catch back up. Above Beyond It Forever, you says, I had to learn the hard way about drinking and driving. I dodged 5 years in prison. I lost my driver's license for 14 years. That inconvenience made my life a living hell. Oh, wow. Yeah, 5 years in prison, that ain't nothing nice.
See now, and congratulations for you learning that life lesson. You would think guys in family court, which go through the same procedures, would learn their lesson, and they seem not to.
Yes. Hello, Leroy, and thank you so much. Yes, if y'all could please like this, I would love and appreciate you for that. And Jessica, you say, all behind a boyfriend, ridiculous. Well, it is. I agree, it's ridiculous, but that's what happens when we are not in control of our emotions. I saw right before I came on here in the news, I guess it was somewhere in Arlington, Texas, where a 23-year-old, I think she was, set her boyfriend on fire. She went into the gas station, got 50 cents worth of gas, doused him with the gas as he was sitting in the back of her Jeep, I guess. And they said, because people who saw it, they said that she flicked some, device to light the flame, burnt him, and they said he was running around. I don't mean to be graphic to freak you guys out, but his skin was melting, and finally he died. And she lied and said, "Oh, as I was smoking my cigarette, and I was pumping the gas or whatever, ended up lighting him on fire." And the people was like, "Nah, sis, we saw you. We heard you say you was arguing with him and that you was gonna kill him." That's what she said. She's gonna kill him, and they said we saw her do it, and so. That's what happens when you don't have control of your emotions. Just
right. And do you guys want to know why women were excluded from frontline battle duty in the military? For those exact reasons. Women go off emotion and they go excessive. Do you know how many guys or the enemy would have missing nuts and stuff like that if the girl got assaulted and stuff? I mean, women go ham. So just think if we had a emotional woman president, not saying, it's going to happen one day. But women are emotional. That's just a fact. And people don't want to accept that.
And Michael, he says, did she drink before going to work or at the day off? I don't know. It looks like she was off. It didn't look like she was in any scrubs or anything. It's like she had on some jeans and a t-shirt or something. So maybe it was her day off and, maybe she got some bad news or whatever. But
I just don't understand. They see that she's inebriated. Why would anybody in their common sense jump in a car in broad daylight? This ain't like at nighttime you guys are at the club. You're in broad daylight about to go to an appointment, and you're going to jump into a car with an inebriated person.
Well, it sounds, I don't know if she was with anybody. I think maybe she was by herself, if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't sound like it was anybody in the car with her. And Colin, how you doing? You say Donovan is bringing up her age and the fact that she was not married up for what the women hate is outrageous.
Well, no. What I'm bringing it up is the maturity level. I don't care if she's married or not. Like I clarified in my statement, it doesn't matter. I'm bringing up the fact that 37 years old, you should be mature emotionally at that time. You would think, right? Because you had a lot of life experience. It ain't like she was 21 years old and my boyfriend just broke up with me, and you're going to get emotional. And you're young and you're inexperienced. This lady was educated. Obviously, she's a traveling nurse. So, you would think she would be in control of her emotions. We all have disappointments. We all go through that stuff, and that's why I bring the correlation up.
I'm going to just let them handle that. I'm going to sit here understanding how you doing. Saying so it was not 100 miles per hour. That was 80 miles per hour. So yeah, I did hear that as well. So that sounds about right. And Beverly, how you doing? Says this is so sad. It truly is. Pioneer says we don't know for sure what they were arguing about, but what are the reasons? Over 75% of the arguments between black men and black women cheating. Another 24 is over money. You might be on to something. And Thunder, you say women want their careers, but just like a man whose sole focus is his life, is his career, she will end up like him, old and alone. Why should it end differently for her just because she's a woman? I never said that it should.
Yeah, correct. Like the great Kevin Samuel said, get a dog and die.
Well, I don't see. Y'all going way off left. Can let's work up to that. Y'all don't know what this lady was arguing with her man about. You don't know what it was, and y'all so quick to blame women. This is a very sad situation of people losing their lives. And I can say I wasn't there, but at the root of it is the lack of emotional intelligence. And we as people, and especially us as black people, we need to learn what that means and get a good handle on it, whether you are a man or whether you are a woman, period. All right. And let's see, me skip down to the bottom. Deadshot, how you doing? And Only Pamela's Way, how you doing? Says this is sad and it looks like she was going close to 100 miles. I think she hit the gas and meant to hit the brake. It's crazy. It doesn't look like she stopped at all. Oh, yeah, Michael, she's going to lose her license. You can believe that. Wow. Drinking and driving, in most jobs, you work at the city, the county, you get, a ticket or something, you commit a crime, you can lose your job depending on what it is, right? And Darlene says, I've gone through a lot of crap myself, but I never wanted to destroy anything that I worked hard to earn either. I'm with you on that one, sister. And Deshai says she was hands down wrong. Oh, absolutely. Hey, Brother Sydney, how you doing? Did you not see the video? Go out of here and look up the fiery crash in Los Angeles that took place on Wednesday and come on back if you haven't already. Rain Love, how you doing? Says she took that jab in order to work as a nurse. I know because I'm not working because of the jab mandate. Just saying. So you think maybe that you're saying that has something to do with it? And Michael says, thank you for welcoming back because I took a long nap last Saturday. I did watch the recording. Okay. And Shamar Brown, how you doing? And let's see here. Yeah, Deadshot, she threw her life and career away. She gonna do some jail time. You can believe that. All right, so who else came on here? Timothy, how you doing? He says, hello, Demetra. How was your weekend? The carrot cake was delicious. Wish I could have fed you a slice. Okay. My weekend was good. I didn't do anything. Just kind of hung around the house. And I thank you so much again for that donation. Thank you. Thank you. I just hung out, but one day I have to taste that cake. In understanding, he says she was driving eastbound on a downhill slope. Okay, so that might have had something to do with it. And then Darlene says, if I'm a little buzzed, I don't get behind the wheel. Yeah, even just a little bit, right? Because buzz driving is still, you're impaired doing that. Let's see here. Asadi says, and Asada is a nurse, by the way. I put her up so y'all can see because she's on Facebook. It's just people have little to no regard to human life. This is so sad. Absolutely, thought of herself and the pain she was in. And listen, like I said, we've all been there. We've all been in pain, whether it's a relationship, and it sucks, But at some point in time, I think we got to get to the point and say, okay, let me do something else besides get in a car or get booted out of my brains to where I don't even have any clue as to what's going on, right?
Yeah, go to the gym, go running, go, get that stress off of you some way, somehow.
Yes, indeed. Pioneer says, this is what I don't understand. How can women sit up and get violent when men who cheat on them, but they'll put up with all types of beatings and abuse and not only stay but not even fight back? Well, it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, it's not one size fits all. Again, we don't know what the argument was about. Whatever it was, I'm sure it was very painful. Maybe he told her, hey, baby, you traveling all over the country and I miss you and I don't want to do this. And so I'm breaking up with you. I mean, it could have been a whole host of things that had her act in a manner to where she was drinking, and did what she did. So it's hard to say at this point.
And you touch on a good point. And for those guys that know, long distance relationships are very, very hard, especially for military people. When these guys deploy and they go out, I mean, I tell you, I lost 2 marriages over just what I did. There was no cheating involved. There was nothing. It's just the fact that you're not there. And some people just freak out. It takes a special person to want to sustain a long distance relationship.
I'm going to entertain this one for just a second. What does her not being FBA have anything to do with what she did? If you don't mind me asking, because let's say she's not FBA, Foundation of Black American. There's a lot of FBA people who do stuff like that. So what does that have to do with anything? If you don't mind me asking. All right. And so Rainey says anyone can have a breakdown. Nurses are overworked. Just saying, yeah. Throw that in the mix. Maybe she was stressed out. She's traveling. She works in Texas, in California. Maybe she had a lot going on. As I said, Asada, she's a nurse and she was in the thick of the pandemic. And I believe she, got COVID a couple of times. Sydney as well as in the medical profession. So it's stressful. I'm not making excuses for her, but we don't know all that was going on. And so I don't know. I just think we maybe could find out a little bit more if we ever do, but y'all were trying to go to the whole Kevin Samuels playbook on the one. It was like, Lord have mercy.
No. Like I said, I'm going there for the emotional thing. That's what I'm saying. At that age, you should be more emotionally mature. But then again, let's go to the dose of the country mouse, city mouse. I've seen it. People that come from a slower environment come to Los Angeles and just lose their minds because it's so fast paced here. It's so fast paced. That could be a part of it. It finally got to her and it caught up to her. She just said, forget it, I'm done. Because there are times I'm out here and I'd be like, screw this.
Jimmy James, how you doing? Whatever do you mean by this comment? Like, I'm not green, but I'm scared to even know what you're talking about here. So do tell, maybe. I don't know. And Donovan says, how many of y'all go over the speed limit in a rush? Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, you know, but not that damn fast. And Effie's travel coach, how you doing? He says, I think he meant hope. How can she be, because you said ho? How can she be prosecuted in a state where her unborn child is not so-called a life? Well, even if they don't concede, right, because I get where you're going as far as California and the laws. So maybe that's why they're only saying 6 instead of 7. I'm saying 7 because it was 7 lives lost, you know, that unborn baby. But even if still, she did cost, you know, 6 other people their lives. So.
Right. And you got to remember, they just overturned that, right? So that would be if she was charged at the federal level, they can charge her at the federal level as a life.
Okay. And let's see here. And how you doing, Mr. Don? And Keela, how you doing? It says, who is this? Oh, I'm gonna let Donovan read that. But how you doing? I don't think they're in love with your comments about the blaming the women and Kevin Samuels' playbook and all of this other stuff.
Well, but isn't it prophetic? A lot of stuff that he has said, if you really look at it, makes sense. I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying logically, it would make sense.
I'm gonna let them, you know, handle you because I mean.
Yeah, feminists really hate Kevin Samuels. I mean, it's just.
But I mean, but why
let a black man not have an opinion? I just can't have my own opinion.
But okay, pause, y'all. If y'all could pause the comments for just a second, so I could catch a pause for a second. Enlighten me, brother. Why did you bring Kevin Samuels up?
I brought it up for the simple fact that at 37 years old, like I've been saying, she wasn't mature in her feelings at 37 years old. She put her career, and that's fine. And I clarified it. I said, married or not married, it doesn't matter. At 37 years old, she's not 22. She's not 23. She's not 19. She couldn't control her emotions. And that's kind of an unusual thing.
Is it unusual? Because a lot of
30. Well, I mean, at 37, you know, okay, to get disappointment. I mean, okay, a good example. You went through a breakup.
Okay.
You went through a breakup and you didn't jump in a car and just go haywire. And I know everybody does things differently, but to do to something of that extreme, to drive at high speeds on a surface street, I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody's been through a breakup here, there. Some sucked really bad. And I've been through, you know, 1 or 2 that sucked really bad. But no, I never wanted to do that. But to say that it's unusual for her not to have a good command of her emotional intelligence is not unusual. There's a lot
to be a nurse?
To be a nurse? Even if she was Jesus. Okay. Even if she was Jesus, there's a lot of people running around here who don't have control of their emotional intelligence because we got to, for one thing, we got to know our triggers, right? Yeah. I don't know if it's the first time she got in an argument with a boyfriend. Like I said, maybe he says, I'm leaving you or whatever. Who knows what it was? It's not right what she did, but to say that is rare, that she didn't have control over emotional intelligence. Most people don't have control over their emotional intelligence. Most people do not. Most people.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
Wait. How you think it is when somebody steps on somebody's tennis shoe and then they do something the unthinkable? That's not having control over your emotional intelligence. Most people get in a road rage. That's not having control over your emotional intelligence.
But that's not most people.
Most people, including me, having a mastery of your emotional intelligence is an everyday. You have to work at it every day.
Okay, I see where you're going. So let me give you guys.
Thank you, Michael, so much for the donation.
So let me give you guys some advice if we're going with that trope. Do not get on an airplane because pilots have a lot of emotional baggage, divorces, and all that other stuff. So I would advise people, do not get on any more airplanes because bad things can happen.
I'm gonna get to these comments. Yashawn, how you doing? It says my homegirl knew one of the victims. I just saw it. It's Lawson and La Brea is no joke. The way it's set up downhill on toll side. But yeah, that area is, they said it's very, very busy and pretty tricky. And Asada, how you doing? It says both men and women are very emotional now. I really hope discussion this doesn't turn into a man versus woman convo. This is you need to learn to control your emotions conversation. Yes, it is. You know how they like to do, try to turn these women, something wrong with these women. You're right. Everybody needs to work on their emotional intelligence. It's not just a woman thing, because trust me, there's a lot of men running around here, very emotional. I was going to say something else.
Yeah, absolutely. But biologically and factually, women are more emotional, men are logical. That is a fact. I don't care what any lady wants to say in this chat. It is a fact.
We're not saying that it's not a fact that women are emotional, but men are emotional too. Everybody's emotional.
But we're more logical than we are emotional.
You want me to bring my daughter in here again?
Again, you're bringing in a woman. But if you brought one of your brothers, he would be saying something totally different.
I'll give one of my brothers a plug right now. You pick one. I'll give him a plug. They'll come on here and be like, you know what? It's not necessarily true that men are more logical. And Thunder says, Demetri K, I'm not sure what it is, but you're giving off a Southern Belle. Oh, am I? A Southern Belle vibe today. I'm liking it as always. I say this respectfully. Well, I thank you so much. I don't know. Maybe it's the shirt. I don't know. But thank you anyway. All right, so let me catch up here. Let me catch up. Yes, RIP to the victims. Is horrible. And only Pamela's Way says, when I was really drinking, I never drank and drive. Number one, I don't like driving when I wasn't drinking. And number two, I don't like driving, period. Okay, so he's like, they wouldn't have to worry about that anyway. And the Riddler, how you doing? Says, no excuse. I don't give a damn, no excuse. I'm with you. There's no excuse, because there's, a family of 5 and then 3 other people, they're going to be having a funeral for a family of 5. And by the way, those that family all lived with like her family, like her sisters and all of that. And, they said they watched them go out the door to the appointment and never thinking that was going to be the last time they saw their loved ones again. So, yeah. And let's see, Michael says, Donovan, you are a very reasonable and decent man. I cannot imagine you going through a divorce.
Did it twice. It was rough. I did it twice. Couldn't believe I was going through it. But again, when you live in a no-fault divorce state, any reason they can just walk out, till death do you part, rich or poor. Oh no, most women don't believe that. They just say it. They go through the motions.
Absolutely. Rain says, I'm not going to get into my expensive vehicle if I'm tired, period. Yes, indeed. And Christian says, if she did have mental breakdown, it has to be proven using a DSM. And so like they also said too, that they can't do a blood alcohol test, because they had already given her so much medication for the pain. And so they probably wouldn't know how drunk she was. So that's kind of crazy and unique. And content creator, how you doing? Says, you guys like living in LA, or I'm in Houston now.
Yeah. And then it doesn't really matter if she was drunk or not drunk. She's going to get a manslaughter charge regardless. You don't have to be drunk to get a manslaughter charge.
Hey, Nikki Mack, it says, did it come out that she tried to unalive herself? And you guys know what unalive is. We got to be kind of creative on these platforms. I don't know if it came out if that at all. I haven't seen anything like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, but that's a very interesting way to look at it, right? And Chalk Chick, how you doing? He says, I live in Los Angeles suburbs and I'm ready to leave. The problem is where you're talking to a content creator. So a lot of people actually are saying that they want to leave. And Michael says, Demetri and Donovan, what slow-paced cities do you recommend outside of Los Angeles? Well, most of California, Southern California, I would say at this point is very busy. It's bustling. It's traffic all the time. From morning, noon, to night, it's traffic. So I would definitely say maybe Northern California is a little bit slower depending on where you go, but Southern California is gone.
Yeah, if you go to Northern California, you'd be kind of close to there. I'm not saying be in the Bay because it's expensive to be in the Bay, but kind of on the outskirts like Vallejo and kind of in those little areas over there. But Southern California, like I said, you got a lot of native Mexicans that keep coming over the border. A lot of problems with that, and they're repopulating. So if you're into that kind of stuff, there's a lot of factions here in Southern California. You got the Vietnamese, you got the Koreans, you got the Armenians, you got we used to have blacks, but they're all gone now, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of infighting, believe it or not, here in Southern California.
Sydney said it is stressful. I've worked 3 months straight without a day off. I have COVID 3 times, and I've seen men and women who snap in the operating room. There you go. It's in the medical field, and like I said, he's had it 3 times. And so that's a lot, So I'm not saying that's what her situation is. We're not excusing, but we're just going from the point of view of people who are actually work in that field. And now you're dealing with monkeypox. And JT Devereaux, you say we definitely using the playbook right now. Oh, we see y'all using the playbook, or somebody using the playbook. And Effie's travel coach says, thanks, love your response facts. I believe she should be prosecuted for each life. I just know Callie is crazy right now. Yeah, she definitely should not get a slap on the wrist for that. And Jimmy James says, Kevin was a student of Tony Sotomayor. See that eye roll right there? Pioneer says, I don't agree with Kevin Samuels, and I thought he was an agent of division, but I do believe too many of these sisters are too emotional, jealous, and can't control their anger, which is feminine. Y'all gonna make me go there. Let me get to the bottom of these comments real quick, because I see y'all want to go there. Nikki says he is and was not a prophet, just a man with opinion. Big Rich, how you doing? Says, I just watched the video again, and to me, it looks like she was trying to delete herself. That's a very good way of looking at it. I mean, it's very possible.
But think about it, though. You're going to delete yourself in the most horrific way to do it, the most painful way. That's, as a military person, that's what I don't understand. If I'm going to delete myself, I'm going to do it in the quickest, most, non-painish way. And I definitely don't want to survive. You know what I mean? So, because just think if you did that and you got all those burns on your body and stuff, and then now the taxpayers got to pay for your Medicaid and all that, you know what I mean? You become more of a burden than what you wanted to happen.
Yes, indeed. And Effie's travel coach, he says, emotional intelligence is key. My grandma used to say, if you go to jail for breaking the law, you're on your own. Absolutely. She lets you know up front. Don't be dropping no dimes in the phone to call me. Absolutely. Angela, how you doing? Says there's no reason to hurt others because you're experiencing pain. That was cruel and intentional. I agree with having medical and life insurance at all times. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no excuse for what she did at all. So I don't want y'all to think I'm saying that there was at all. And only Pamela's way says so true. Emotional intelligence is everyday thing. And Nikki says opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and most stink. Pioneer says, yeah, a lot of black men are too emotional too. Yes, indeed. You guys are all saying men too. So let me skip down to the bottom. And
let me just add something to that comment. Now you got to remember in that comment though, we've raised 2 generations of men that are more emotional. Why? And I'm going to hold my thought on that. I want you to think about why are they emotional? The last 2 generations of men that are emotional, why are they emotional?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you'll tell us it has something to do with the women, but I think everybody has emotions. I mean, where do you think the term going postal came from? That came from the lack of emotional intelligence and having, not being able to self-regulate. That's when you snap, instead of having to talk with yourself and say, wait a minute, you want to do some very, 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 very bad things. However, what is going to happen? Do you really need to do this? Is there another way to, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to check yourself. So it's not that men have become emotional. Men have always been emotional, just like women have. But, you talking about something else, then yeah, I ain't going to say it right now, but let me get to these comments. And Emmanuel, how you doing? It says, sad that grown men have to quote their YouTube daddy who was a fake relationship guru. Uh-oh, you trying to get into a fight now.
See, look, you just mentioned his name and the feminists come out of the woodworks.
The real lady says, fine, but I hope the DA holds her responsible regardless of her sex. She needs to get life in prison, period. Young Miami voice, okay? And that's one of the city girls. And Pioneer says, I agree with Donovan that both men and women have logic and emotional, but most men tend to be more logical and most women tend to be more emotional. Can y'all give me some statistical data on that? Give me some statistical data backing up that most men are logical and most women are emotional. Anything.
Okay, wait. If I give it to you, would you believe it?
Give me something that's believable.
It's believable by what standard?
Not from the book of Donovan.
No, but it's believable by what standard? That's what I'm saying. I can give you everything that's statistically factual. I can give you government statistics. I can give you whatever. And a lot of women will do this. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing.
Get it. It ain't what you know, brother. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So prove
absolutely.
it. Prove it. All right. Leroy, you say, many men have the emotional mechanism of women who have been raised without a dad. Okay, I will concede some of that. I will concede that to some degree. And Asadi says, 2021, I almost did something unthinkable to my ex-husband. Two things stopped me. My child and my nursing degree nurses are held to a higher standard. There you go. We all go through some things, but like you said, I had some real stuff to lose. You know what I mean? So that's where emotional intelligence comes in the mix. Like, okay, I want to strangle this mother, but I ain't going to do it, because if I do, then I have my child to think about. I have this degree that I've worked for so hard for. And so I'm going to let karma and the law deal with him. And Shamar, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. Says, sir, please stop with sexist speak. Her actions were terrible. However, let's not forget how many women are murdered by the hands of men. This man is acting emotional about women who hurt this guy. Donovan? Can't hear you.
Here's what I want to say about this, okay? I gave my opinion based on something that I heard from a Kevin Samuels. That's all I said. Something I heard, my opinion. And all these feminists now, these feminazis are coming out saying that what I put out there is wrong. I'm gonna have to disagree with that guy, and maybe that's his opinion. Like I said, I'm not disrespectful to him. I am saying that's his opinion, and I'm letting him have his opinion. But the minute anybody, and that's the problem, ladies.
Well, you got a woman that's agreeing with you.
Well, but my point is this. Let me have my opinion. Your opinion's not my opinion. And that's one of the problems that we have. We don't let people have their opinions.
Sound like you're getting emotional, brother.
I'm not getting emotional.
Oh, okay. I'll just check it.
I'm being very logical. That's why I'm trying to slowly explain it for the people that might have taken the short bus.
It's all good, brother. We just can't. As they added.
Oh, and I did find something for you. Matter of fact, I'll message to you right now.
Okay, or maybe you could put it up and I could put it up, or whatever the case is. But fine. Let me see something. And Jessica says, I agree with Donovan, but in this instance, the man did not kill anybody over whatever the argument was about. All right. And let's see here. Effie's, you say self-control. There's too much support out here to throw one's life away. We have enough proof that, like my grandma said, this too shall pass. We've endured worse. You better preach. And Emmanuel says, human beings are emotional, period. Yeah, men and women, right? Rainy says, men go through andropause just like women go through menopause, mood swings included. Yep, that is very true. And one who cares, he says, if men are more logical, who starts wars?
Women. He did something to me. I want you to go over there. You guys saw what Jada Smith did to Will Smith. Ruined that man's career in one freaking night.
I'm going to let y'all handle that because I need to catch up to these comments. Mr. Pie Brain says, with Uber and Lyft, she had no excuse. I bet she will only get a few years. A man would get harsher punishment. Well, she hasn't even been officially charged yet. They're going to officially do something. The DA in Los Angeles is going to officially do something tomorrow. And so who knows what they're, looking at doing. So whether she's going to get a slap on the wrist opposed to a man, that really does remain to be seen, right? So we're going to wait and see. And Thunder, thank you so much. You say for the sweet tea fund. Yes, indeed, I still need to get me. I think I did get some sweet tea, but I don't remember where it was. Wasn't bad, but you know what? It was at Papado's one time. I think it was. It was sweet. I don't think I'd have it again, but maybe I'll try something else. But thank you so much. And Jan Michael, how you doing? Says Mr. Donovan, haha. And let's see here. Pioneer says, I personally support the right of a man or a woman to just walk out if they don't like the relationship, as long as children aren't involved. If children are involved, we need to go to the courts. Yes, indeed. And Nasi, how you doing? He says, shout out from Malaysia. Wow. All the way from Malaysia.
I've been there. Beautiful country. Stayed at a 5-star resort. It was just beautiful. Had me some prawns, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. All right, so I'm gonna skip down. So Cindy says you're more concerned about Ebola. Is that on the rise too? Is that coming out? Do we got to deal with Ebola too?
Isn't this biblical? Aren't we in biblical times right now?
That's
if
what
you
they
believe in
tell
that. If you believe in that.
Yes, indeed, Shamar. All right. So Pioneers says, come on now. You mean you can't even say suicide? You got to say unalive now. What are we talking about? Zombies? What's the point of social media if you can't say anything anymore? Well, we don't own these platforms. And if we want to continue to have these conversations, sometimes we got to, tiptoe around certain things. So if y'all notice, like on my channel or the African Diaspora News channel or Brother Phil's channel, we say certain words like delete in replace of, murder, because YouTube is kind of funny style about that. Although you can use it, you just have to go through too many hoops of fire. They have to check the video. It's a lot. So in order to be able to put the work out rather quickly, we have to sometimes use different words. So I hope that helps. And Angela Tilly, how you doing? Says all those people died, not her. Yeah, she's still alive to talk about it. And Sydney says most women who commit suicide, they choose a painful method, Donovan. So they're saying most women that do it choose a painful method. Well, that would be pretty painful, I would think. And Dusty Hotep, how you doing? He says Kevin was just brutally honest. He believed in facts and data. Women don't like him, but they couldn't debunk him either. Well, how you doing? Al Jackson, how you doing? He says, cut it out. Kevin Samuels first started off talking to men, and the last year of his life, he started talking back to men, and they didn't like it. That is very true. Kevin Samuels was on the men's bumper, but that one little, a year that he took to talk to women, or,
And that's when he skyrocketed.
Right. But wait a minute. To Al's point, y'all don't never run around talking about, yes, Kevin Samuels says black men are the only men that, let their dingalings rule everything in their life. He says black men are the only men that rule with their D and not their minds. He says, and brag about their D. He says other men don't do that. They talk about ideas and things. He says, but black men are the only men that lead with what's in their pants and a whole host of other things. But I never, ever hear no man running around saying, wow, Kevin says that we need to be more responsible. I even heard of Kevin Samuels when he said that he had a friend who was cheating on his wife, and he came over to his house and he said, man, take your ass home before I call your wife. You got a good woman and you should not be running the streets. And if you don't go home, I'm going to tell her. Y'all don't never talk about that kind of stuff, though.
I do. I'm the first to talk about stuff like that. But see, these feminazis, they don't want to see that. Like I said, I referenced Kevin into something I had recently heard or that triggered my mind. I never said I supported him. I never said I was against him. I just said I used a reference point to what I had heard. And they took it way over there.
So I guess men can be feminist. So you're saying that the men who are here said, come on, Don. We know most of these young men are too emotional because they were raised by mostly their mother.
That was my point. Exactly. That's why I knew you guys knew. I don't have to say that. We know there's been 2 generations of young black men being raised by strong, independent black women.
I'm drinking sparkling water, but I would think I'm gonna need some vodka or something up in here today. Yanni, how you doing?
But that's what I'm saying, though. In all funniness and jest, that's what I'm saying. We get into these far left conversations because you only hear what you want to hear because you don't like this person. Well, maybe you don't like him, but maybe somebody else might like him. Just let it. It's just we're supposed to have a conversation as adults.
I guess the point that we're making, Donovan, is that we were talking about this lady. We don't know really what her argument was with the issue.
Right. And I just referenced Kevin Samuels saying the maturity level at that age. That's all I referenced.
And there's a whole bunch of women and men running around in their freaking 70s.
Right. No. But right. No, I understand. But the point is, the minute that I said Kevin, if I would have said somebody else other than Kevin Samuels, we wouldn't be having this conversation. That's a fact. If I would have said Richard Simmons, everybody would have been cool with it. Oh, yeah, girl, I love Richard. Oh, yeah, Richard's great. But because I referenced Kevin Samuels, everybody's having a fit.
Donovan, are you getting emotional?
I don't get emotional. I'm like Spock.
I'm just checking.
I'm like Spock.
I'm checking.
Ice cold.
I'm just checking. I'm
ice cold. And when I fly airplanes, they called me the X-Man because you make one mistake. That was it.
Got you. I'm just checking. Thunder says they couldn't do a test to see if she was drunk because of the pain meds. Says ETOH, alcohol is not the same as morphine. The pain meds on most ambulances morphine. So that's what they were saying. I don't know how true it is, but yeah. And Rain Lovey says effeminate is the word, just saying. Jay Bubba says sounds like a simp getting emotional because Kevin's name was brought up. Ooh. Okay. Jay the informant, how you doing? Says so all these women have all the heat and smoke for Kevin Samuels, but the same circus women have not said anything about the Maury Show, Jerry Springer, and worst of all, Wendy Williams. Well, I mean, I think you've been watching me long enough. I said that I didn't like a lot of things that Kevin said, but there's some things that I totally agree with. Not really want to watch Wendy Williams. You know, I watched Jerry Springer back in the day when it was hot and popping, but you know, and Maury and all of that. But I mean, you know,
Dimitri, you only watched Jerry Springer for the fights. That's all you watched it for.
I mean, who didn't, right? I was like in my 20s, you know. I don't have any smoke or heat for Kevin Samuels at all. Hello, Michael. How you doing? JT Devereaux says the movie Notebook, the scene where he was logically saying, "What do you want?" Okay. Nikki says passion is perceived as emotion. Let's stop that. I like that. Jason, how you doing? Says women are way more emotional than men. I think you meant. He says, "What are we talking about?" Okay. And JT Devereaux, so you're saying she couldn't answer the question to the Notebook question, okay? And Angela says she will have plenty of time to get therapy in prison, right? Pioneer says, Queen, come on, you need statistical data proof to believe that women tend to be more emotional. Laugh out loud, life experience doesn't tell you this already. Well, I think too, what I'm trying to say is, where is the data? Yes, I need some data because y'all keep saying this a lot, and we know that women, I guess, can be considered more nurturing. I think that's maybe we're trying to go, but as far as emotional, yeah, maybe, I don't know, but more than men. Like I've been around some emotional men in my life. I mean, you can read the news and see and learn about men who are emotional. Like, you know, even going back to slavery and Jim Crow. Y'all don't think those white dudes wasn't emotional seeing black people get the bread, you know, and do well, and they let their emotions, you know, and other stuff, them being a devil, and have them go do what they did. I mean, like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we know who's more emotional, who's less emotional?
Now, remember back in the day when you would watch shows and people get divorced, one of the things that would come up is a lot of, and mostly on the women's side, when they're going through a divorce, and you would see it on shows. I don't know if this is statistically correct or whatever. What's one of the things women would say? He's emotionally unattached. He's emotionally distant. He's emotionally that. Now, were they saying that just to throw it in there to make themselves look good, or were they experiencing actually that? I'm talking about the older generation, older than us, that was kind of going through all that.
So you're saying women were saying a man was emotionally detached?
Yeah, like in their pleadings in a court case, they would always say he's emotionally detached, or he's whatever. Wait, but my point is, and you guys know what I'm talking about because you guys know where I'm going. I know Pioneer knows what I'm talking about, and some of you other people in there know what I'm talking about. Why would they say that a man's emotionally detached? Because most men were not really emotional. We weren't. We're logical.
Y'all don't know no women that's emotionally detached?
Yeah, there's a few.
Okay. Alex says, when I was in the Navy, one of my shipmates became very emotional because he lost a fight. He jumped over the side of the ship once they rescued him, and they gave him a general discharge. Sounds very emotional to me. In the manual, you say, I'm not a feminist. I'm not a feminist, dude. I'm a man. Black Visions, how you doing? Says it comes on monthly basis for women. Yeah, and even some women aren't emotional during that time of the month. You know, some women, they're just not, and some women are. So, you know, it just really depends. That's what I'm saying. And Shamar, you say just because someone doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they're a feminist. This guy, yeah, I'm gonna keep reading.
Well, again, like I said, that's me saying that, whatever. But it just seems to me a person who is having a regular conversation wouldn't be triggered because I mentioned a certain person's name as a reference.
Right. So a lot of people saying they're not a feminist. Brother Don says she was in a blackout. That's why she didn't respond. I was in a blackout once and got a damn DUI. Yes. I mean, I blacked out once before with anger, but never to that point, right? And RY, how you doing? He says men tend to be more logical. Okay. And let's see here. And Emmanuel says, where's your accountability for the absent fathers that aren't there?
what does the absent father have to do with raising emotional children? What does that have to do with it? If I'm being raised predominantly by a woman, and predominantly by a woman, what traits am I going to pick up? That's just human nature. You're going to pick up those traits of the person that's basically you're around most of the time. And it's just an opinion. It's just an opinion.
All right. And Cutie Squad, how are you doing today? All right. So Leroy said, likes are looking good. I love and appreciate y'all. So I'm going to skip a little bit down to the bottom, y'all, so I can catch up because I see that I'm behind. Karen, how are you doing? And let's see here. JW says, yep, women will book a fight and walk away. Is that Shahrazad Ali? That's who y'all quoting? Timothy, you say, for me, it feels good being a man. Says, I don't talk like a woman like these men here today. You're going back to argue like women. Between me and a woman, one of us is going to be the man, and that's me. Emotional men sound like women. Yes, indeed. And thank you so much for the donation once again. You're starting to grow on me. But you know what? I totally agree with you. And that's what I was going to say earlier, but I wasn't going to say it as nice about a lot of men who, as to Donovan's point, in the last 2 generations or so, have become emotional. Yeah, I was going to say like women. A lot of these men nowadays behave like women. And somebody's going to say, well, like, what do you mean like a woman? Cackling, that's kind of a trait of a woman, like to talk a lot and, maybe gossip and cat fight and all that.
Always want to do the get back.
All of that. Yes, indeed. But thank you so much. And Thunder says, salute to the Godfather and salute to the CIA and much love to the FBI. Shout out to all the blue and white collar Henrys and big ups to the high value men. Oh, sound like you. Did he send you or his family send you his book? Michael says, I usually don't tell you guys that I says that I'm a bit more emotional than being logical, but I'm working on myself. Yeah, and that's a man saying, he's more emotional. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you have a, command of it, right? Like it doesn't get out of control and, is harmful to you or yourself. Nothing wrong with having emotions. Being emotional sometimes, yeah. Rain says, is Donovan starting trouble? Just asking you. Donovan is being Donovan. And Tawana, if I didn't already, how you doing? It says, constant attacks on women is extremely emotional, a sign of bitterness.
Wow. See, now there's an old saying, who's the fool? The fool or the fool that follows him? So if what I'm doing is what you're saying, you're following right after me. So again, there we go. My point has been proven.
I miss Papa those two. Simo 27. How you doing? I'm vegan now, for right now. So yeah, I'm gonna miss it too. And Angela says that she's black, they're going to throw the book at her and make an example out of her. Absolutely. All right, Agni of Defeat. How you doing? Says a guy did a math calculation using frame by frame mathematics and said calculations came to 123 miles per hour. She was going really fast. And Pinus says, sis, I totally understand why certain words aren't allowed, but YouTube said you couldn't say it. Did they say you couldn't say it? Are people self-censoring before even knowing it's allowed or not allowed? Some people limit themselves. Well, it's been said because a lot of times people's comments get deleted and as a content creator, I'm telling you, a lot of times it takes a lot to get our material monetized due to certain words. So yes, it is something. And then you have to have them double check it and you have to get an appeal. So it's a lot. All right. So for real, now I'm gonna go all the way down to the end. Willie Robinson says, I watched the video, possible car manufacturer defects in car gas tank, Ford Pinto gas tank explosion, and stuck gas pedal. I mean, she could use all those as a defense because it's plausible. However, she did have a friend that said that she was, pretty drunk. So there's that. All right. And let's see here. Al says, say it again, Donovan, strong, independent woman. So women, you like when you say that. Leroy says, point is men are emotional too. Absolutely. And Princess says, rest in peace to brother Kevin Samuels. Yes, indeed. See, Ruffin, how you doing? And Azriel says, shalom, family. Hello, hello. All right. And so let me go all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to stop at somebody who I didn't see yet, just yet. Austin, how are you doing? Said this man is making, real man look bad. Get your stuff together, bro. And thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. I'm gonna keep reading, Donovan. I'm gonna keep reading. I don't want you to get emotional.
Hey, I'm like Spock. Live long and prosper.
Yes. Don't get emotional. And Jan Michael says, Mom, Mr. Mitra. Okay. It says, and Dad, Mr. Donovan, would you please stop with the urinating contest? You're ripping us apart. Smile.
No. Again, I referenced, for those of you guys that didn't catch it, I referenced something that Mr. Samuel said, and I used it as a reference to what I'm talking about. Didn't say he was right, didn't say he was wrong, but the minute you say Kevin Samuels, the feminists come out. They just come out because they just can't stand the fact that the man was right.
And Colin, he said, also emotions come in all forms, not just the sappy ones men are used to categorize women. You mean to tell me men never exude any form of emotions, Donovan?
Never said that. I never said that. I just said a reference to what Kevin Samuels said in regards to this woman at 37 years old. You should have more command of your emotions because you are not 22, you're not 23, you're not 17. Most people at 37 years old have life experiences. That's all I said.
JJ, how you doing? Says, O.J. Simpson was emotional. He did not go to jail for the murder of his wife, but went to prison for his memorabilia. Yes. And they said if he did it was a crime of passion, right? He went black and all that. Sounds like there's a lot of emotions involved in that. And he's a man. And Princess, you say some women put their emotions behind their programmed mind. There is bound to be clashes with a logical mind. I agree with that. And Nikki says women refer to emotional detached because they were not getting compassion. Yes, indeed. So Al, you meant to
real quick, let me just ask this question for people in the chat and just do this for me. And maybe Dimitri, you might know this. Is it not true women are more hormonal than men? If women have more hormones than men, would that not make them more emotional?
I mean, I don't know if we have more hormones than men or if we just have a different set of hormones. I don't know.
You do, because you guys have babies and you guys go through menopause. You guys have more hormones than men do. That is a fact. Thus, by definition, women are more emotional.
So hormones only dictate emotions?
No, not at all. You have wisdom and stuff like that. But we're saying if you add everything up, that would make you emotional. That is why people say women are more, one of the reasons they say women are more emotional. You guys have more hormones in your bodies than men do.
All right. Because, I got me a fact checker on set. Boo-boo.
Sure.
And it says men and women have the same hormones. However, each gender has varying hormone levels based on their needs. Due to this, men and women experience different problems when it comes to deficiency. So that's what I said. Do we just have different sets of hormones, or do we have more? Right? That's kind of where I was asking.
Fake news.
Huh?
Fake news.
Fake news. You see that? Somebody said the other day I was getting too comfortable with the N-word. When I use the N-word, I like to use it as an example of somebody said, but today, right now, y'all almost caught me slipping.
No, I would agree with that assessment. Be it the levels or whatever. The point is women have more. That's my point. We can dissect it all day long.
I need my sunlights. I need who else? I need more Olivia's ladies. I need y'all to because y'all hear this double speak.
I'll be good.
Okay.
Don't bring sunlight in here. I'll be good.
How you doing, Kiki? And dark skinned brother too. How you doing? You say hi, my beautiful sister, and shalom, family. Yes, indeed. And everybody loves Jerome. How you doing? It says Donovan. What about 40 years old, like Charleston White being emotional and Hassan Campbell? Jay the Informant says, of course not you, Demetra, but those people, men and women who threw parades about Kevin Samuel's death and still won't let go, like Roland Martin Unfiltered showed through a parade when he died. Yeah, that's awful. I don't think anybody should celebrate anybody's death. That is nasty. Very nasty. All right. So Okay, so JJ says, what about a single father? So girl going to pick up a male trait?
Yeah, some of them do. Absolutely. Some women do. Believe it or not, you guys are looking at the host here, right? Demetra, she looks like her mom, straight out, but she has a lot of traits like her dad.
Yeah, he made me tough, but trust me, I'm all woman. All right, so Derek, how you doing? He says speed is a reason they stop you for drunk driving. Yes, indeed. Angela says Kevin Samuels didn't have successful relationships himself. And Gilberta, how you doing? He says good evening, Demetria and Donovan, Black First Chat family. Yes, indeed. All right, so I'm for real. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, and then we're going to work our way back up. And Kiki says, I see the topic of the convo. Really sad situation. They're saying she was intoxicated and angry from what I read. Another situation of where temporary feelings cause long-term results and regrets. Shaking my head. So sad. My prayers to the family. Absolutely. I love the way you put that. Ridiculous thoughts. How you doing? It says women and men have the same hormones. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's just that's
well, like I said, be it okay. Let's say you do have the same hormones. My point is, women's hormone levels are more than they are men. That's just a fact. So either way it goes, women are more emotional.
I'm gonna get to it. Which one is your name? Got you. Okay. All right. So, and Sydney says, wait, women have more hormones than men. News to me. See, I'm just reading the comments at this point. I'm just gonna be reading the comments. Okay. So let's see here. Let me get all the way to the bottom. And content creator says, can we change the subject and talk about the stock market for next week? Yes, we'll do that on Wednesday with Walter, because you know that's Walter's expertise. Easy E, how you doing, baby? Thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. And Rain says men lose their testosterone just like women lose their estrogen, both becoming moody. Yes, because that's one thing I'll say. Y'all, some of y'all men, when y'all get up there, ooh, wow, it's like, damn, what's wrong with you? Just evil and mean. And Lonnie, how you doing? You say that's a fact. And Michael says content, or so you're talking to content creator. Yes, we're going to talk about stock market on Wednesday with Wednesdays with Walter. Another guy that can be a little bit on the emotional side. Ooh, he's going to get mad at me if he heard me say that. And Nikki says, women produce more estrogen, which is hormone, compared to testosterone, which men produce. Okay. And Cece, how you doing? It says, if you were less emotional, Donovan, then how come Demetria gives up on the topic, seeing it's going nowhere, but you keep on trying to make your point? So you're basically saying that I'm more emotional?
No. I think they're saying that I'm emotional because I won't let the topic drop. No, I'm not letting the topic drop for the simple fact that, like what you just said in that comment, all I did was reference something, and if somebody took it far left because they just don't like the fact that Kevin Samuels was right in a lot of what he was saying. Not everything he was saying was right, but he was right in a lot of what he was saying.
Michael says, Donovan, I'm assuming that you have yelled at people before, including your military comrades and kids.
Yelling is the military.
Kids?
Yelling is the military. So if I have children, they are military too. I will yell at them as well.
Some people will say that that's emotional. But hey, I'm going to keep reading.
Yeah, in the military, yelling is the military. That's how military people talk. We yell.
Jessica, he says, you can look at schoolyard fights. There is a distinct difference even in the way boys fight and girls fight. I would say that's true, because girls can have a good mean windmill, right? And Pioneer says, Demetria, do you know how scary it is when you keep saying you're going to move past and get down to the bottom of these comments? It sounds like you're going to end the show. No, I'm not going to end the show. We're here for a good hour more. I'm just saying, because I know I'm behind and I want to kind of keep with what we're saying, because, I know we get to talking and all that. And Miss Kimmy, how you doing? He says, do you think women are more empathetic for the most part? We can be. I don't know. Yeah. I guess maybe this depends on the person, because I know some women who have the empathy of Michael Myers.
Right. I like I said, with women being nurturers, I think the empathy is the flip side of the nurturing.
All right. And Kiki says men go through menopause too, hot flashes, low libido, even testosterone decline. It's not just women, just letting you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No,
But if anybody wants to test that trait, I'm in Southern California. Give me a call, email me, message me, and we can test that trait.
So we got a little bit back and forth. Anything else y'all want to talk about, please throw it in the chat and we would love to do that. And Lonnie says, wrong, women are more. Okay. And Thunder says, as a man, I know my place in the world. And if I forget my place, I'm immediately put back in it. But, oh, Lord, if you tell a woman to know her place, oh, my God, you just committed a crime against humanity. Listen, I don't have a problem with a man telling me my place as long as, you know, he's my man. That's a different story.
Right now, I sent you a message with two things proving it. And one of them is biblical. And I know not everybody believes in the Bible, but even in the Bible, it says in regards if you believe in that stuff. So check it out when you get a chance.
What does it say?
Well, I sent it to you. I don't have it up anymore, but I sent it to you in your messenger.
Okay. Mr. Piebrand says women actually love Kevin Samuels and supported his channel. They love to hate him. Yeah, he said he had quite a few women who were subscribed to his channel. And let's see here. And Michael says, Donovan, have you ever punched someone off duty before?
Absolutely. Because I was defending my woman.
Some people will still say that's emotional, but I'm gonna keep.
I didn't say it wasn't. I didn't say it wasn't.
And let's see. And Pioneer says, I think black men tend to be more emotional than white men. Now you're trying to get in the fight now. Michael says, Donovan and Dimitri, do you support Philip Scott of African Diaspora News Channel that black men need to find women from overseas due to their emotional intelligence? I'm just one of those people who feel like it's to each their own. I can't dictate to what anybody is who they want to be with. I just know for me, I like the brothers. I like the brothers. So that's just me. And a lot of other people. And Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? It says peace and love, family. Women hormones are off the charts. Trust me, I have had arguments with women only for them to admit they were not mad about what they were arguing about. That's emotional. That is very emotional because a lot of times it's emotional and it's a lack of communication skills is what it is. Instead of just saying, hey, you know what? It's not about you not taking out the trash. It's actually about this. You know what I mean? But sometimes we as women think that y'all can read our minds per se. So I would concede that. Dark skinned brother too, he says, I'm ex-military too, and we did a lot of yelling. And Kimberly, how you doing? He says, Kevin was only saying what our mothers and grandmothers told us. Yeah, that's true. I just think I think one of the major problems that a lot of people had with Kevin, well, a lot of people have with him, was he the right person to deliver that message? I think that's kind of where it was. But you're right. Only Pamela's Way says, as far as you're concerned, Donovan, you think he was right. Never heard of him until he died, and it don't sound like I missed much. And Al says, if a man snorts estrogen, does his nose bleeds once a month? You stupid. Easy says, D, just got these pies from Supreme, straight out the shy. Would love to share, but too good. So you're talking about those bean pies? Is that what you're talking about? Bean pies are the bomb. I wish they made them vegan. Somebody make them vegan. I'll buy one once a week. And Rain says, some people probably join the military to Yale, just saying. And all right, so for real, don't get scared, Pioneer. I'm just going down to the bottom so I can, kind of catch up here. Derek says, when you are given a free pass for so long, you may be more prone to snap. I can see that. And Colin says, so the men who attack and harass women when they are rejected are not emotional.
Again, that rise in men that are doing that now, when were they born? Oh, wow. A majority of that is within the last 2 generations, isn't it? Is there a tie-in? Possibly.
Does that include our generation too?
Well, maybe. But what I'm saying is what that person is describing in that aspect, there's a rise in that has happened with young people within the last 2 generations. Now, could our generation have some people in there? Yes. Could our parents have some generations in there? Yes, but not as much as the last 2 generations.
Ridiculous Thoughts says women's hormones fluctuate more than men's, leading to the difference in behaviors, perspective, moods, etc. Men's hormones are more stable until later in life. All right. Well, I don't have any medical knowledge of that, so my medical professionals, well, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to chime in on there. Or somebody.
Again, I sent you the link to check it out.
It's just kind of hard for me to do it. That's why I said for you to read it. I don't have, brother. I ain't disputing it. Just you read it, and then and then I can go from there. But kind of reading that and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying, brother? I'm not disputing you. And ridiculous thought says, oh, I read that already. Okay. And Letitia, how you doing? Who else came on here? And I'm gonna. Oh, did I get to the bottom? Oh no, not quite. Kiki, you says personally, I don't think that being emotional is gender specific. I just think the world. I just think the world that is made it so. I think the world made it so. I think it depends on the person, such as relationships. I've seen women just walk away, but I've seen men eliminate a woman after a breakup. I really think it depends on the person. I think both men and women can have their emotions of being irrational and over emotional if it's in their nature. Just my thoughts. Yes, I think it's per the person as well. So good commentary there. And Pioneer says, I love bean pies. What happened to the brother selling them on the streets? Maybe it's the area I live in Western Michigan. I used to see them all over Detroit. Yeah, I've been in Houston, haven't seen them, but I probably, because I don't go where they're selling them in Houston, but I would love to. And I want to start getting the final call newspaper. Every time I see my dad, he gives me 1 or 2 or 5 in manuals. I see your comment. I'm not going to speak to that. Lonnie says they was raised by a single mom. Okay. Thunder says Kevin Samuels was promoting rebuilding the Black family, and there has been a concerted effort to keep the Black family broken. The last time the Black family was in accord, the Civil Rights Movement happened. Yeah, and I agree. I think for the most part, Kevin was interested in building the Black family. I guess that's what he said anyway. I don't know, but I think it's also should be fair to say that, because I know a lot of times when you men talk about Kevin Samuels, y'all always talk about the stuff he said about women and never the stuff that he said about y'all. Never. Y'all quotologists. Y'all quotologists when it comes to what's your dress size, how much you weigh, how many kids you got. Oh, you what is you all the other stuff you hitting the wall and your eggs is about to dry up and all this other stuff. But Donovan, right now I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Sure.
Give me 3 things that Kevin said. I see like that. 3 things Kevin. 3 things Kevin said about men. Go.
That he said about men?
Yeah.
We need to be in our families' lives. We need to take more responsibility for what we do. We need to bring the whole loaf rather than half the loaf. You want some more?
You passed the test, brother.
Okay.
You passed the test. But I guess basically what I'm saying is, and thank you for that most men they never talk about what he says about the men. It's always about what he said about the women. I like the old school Kevin, not because he was getting on the men, which I thought was very important, because I did think that he was in teacher mode when he was talking to the men, because I think that's really where it should have stayed. But I appreciate it from a man's point of view, what men like and stuff. But I like that he was teaching men how to get dressed and how to smell good. Get your grown man on and look like a citizen when you're going out. Hell, like I said, and my daughter's, a millennial. She talks about going on dates with dudes who, or want to show up in a sweatshirt or a t-shirt.
Bonnet on his head.
I don't know about that, but close, right? And, she's dressed up and she's like.
Yeah, exactly. And you see that all the time. The girl be dressed up beautiful. And then the guy comes with some Dickies, Chuck Taylors on and a wife beater.
Yes, indeed. In Facts Not Feelings, it says a lot of Black dudes are very emotional. If you see a brother walking around in pajamas and bare slippers in the mall, that's one emotional dude.
And I would almost bet he was raised by a single mother. Almost bet. Yeah, but Ike Turner was also talented, and he built a very successful Black woman.
Have you had a BBL, brother?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Because you got a lot of butts. You got a lot of butts.
But it's true. He made a successful Black woman. Tina Turner didn't have anything until she met him.
Got you. Colin says, y'all generation, men, y'all generations and what? Y'all generations
Oh, but basically what Collins is saying, the generation before us, Generation X, were attacking women too. That's not a new thing. The only thing that's changed is camera phones and social media. Absolutely, and I agree with that. But then again, remember, Generation X and older, when we saw women fight even at school, we broke it up. What are these younger kids doing? World star, instead of breaking up. Nobody wants to see young ladies fighting. Nobody wants to see that.
I'm going to put that one up. Yes, indeed.
Phil still owes me some money, though, y'all. Don't never forget that. He owes me some money.
He said because he stole his talent. Donovan, crazy. And Gwendolyn, how you doing? He says, where was she drinking? I thought establishments are required to take your keys. It sounds like she was with a bunch of her friends at a house somewhere, maybe drinking, and that's where she got inebriated. Dark Skin Brother says, single with no kids, ladies will treat you right as long as you treat me right. No cheating. That's all I ask, and I hold myself to the same standard. Brother, you're rare. You are rare. Rare. Oh, but I love it. And Rainey says, I only date professional men because they have a lot to lose, because they love to harass me for what I was born with. Just saying. Oh, so you got a ball of collar? Is that what it is? Michael says, Donovan, everybody wants to hear you well because we want that experience. Okay. Pioneer says, instinctively, a man goes out in public, should be dressed in preparation to defend himself and his family. How the hell are you going to fight in pajama bottoms and flip-flops? I agree. I see that. To me, that looks feminine. I know that's kind of, maybe somebody's going to disagree, but when I see a man out in pajamas and flip-flops or house shoes and a white beater, that looks feminine to me. It does. Because when I think of a man, I think of a man that's dressed and ready for the day. Also for a woman. So, when I see that, I just think like lazy. That's what I think. And
how many of you guys remember in the 90s when all these R&B groups were coming up, even the lady groups, they were all dressed in Vogue. They were just dressed. They just sharp, always had a jacket on, looking really good and stuff. And now you look at these, whenever a kid talks about some artist, I don't even care what they're talking about.
Yes, indeed. Kiki says, okay, but here's something I don't get. Everything in the Black community is blamed on single motherhood, but according to the CDC, Black men are the most involved fathers, which brothers love to brag about. So who's lying? The brothers blame single mothers or the CDC, because if Black fathers are the most involved, y'all are sharing in raising these emotional men, right? I really do need to know who. Wait, hold on. Wait. Wow.
Kiki, you are now fired from the show. See you later. No, as a co-host. No, that's an excellent good point. But here's the drawback. Okay, we're only 14% of the population. So in that population, what number are you talking about in regards to that? Yes. What are the numbers that you're using? I agree with everything you said there, but break down the numbers. Because it's almost like what you're saying is like when they say white people are on food stamps more than Black people. Well, yeah, that's because white people. Wait. That's why I'm asking her to break down the number, because it's an accounting trick. White people are more on food stamps than Black people because there are more white people. That's why. So you got to kind of break it down a little bit.
She read the same thing that I read, and it says that Black men are actually the most involved with their kids than any man in the United States. So, basically,
absolutely. But if you are not in that household, I think that plays a significant role. Being a weekend fun dad, that's not pretty much. It's not the same thing as in regards. So, what are the numbers that she's using? I agree with that. Like I said, I agree with everything she said. But what are the numbers that she's using?
Absolutely, Michael. I absolutely do. He says, Donovan and Demetri, do you support traditional gender roles for men and women?
Damn right. Damn right. Get in there and cook. The kitchen or the bedroom. The kitchen or the bedroom.
What you gonna do? Let me hear it.
I have to go to work, pay all the bills, fix the car, cut the grass. I got to do all the pressures on me.
Yes, indeed, Rain. A clean man is definitely a turn on. Just saying, yes, one that smells good. You know, it's got a little smell good, or at least smell like he took a shower in the last day, right? He's clean, his hair is nice, and whether you got dreads or
Got all
whatever
his
you
teeth.
got, huh? Got all his teeth.
Got all his teeth. It's very
That-
important.
that-
He ain't spilling out of his mouth,
that's always a plus. And you know, yeah, a man that looks like a citizen is a very, very good turn on. So I totally agree with you. And Lonnie, so y'all coming with it. Y'all coming with it. Says Kevin Samuel said, men man up. Yes. Okay.
Kevin, and ladies, for you guys that, you could watch whatever you want. If you really listen to Kevin Samuels before he got on the woman thing, he was vicious to men. That's when I started listening to him and saying, yeah, that's right. And Dimitri, I'll tell you, I'm one of the first to always tell these brothers, what you mean you got half the rent and your wife didn't come up with the other half of the rent? Negro, are you a man? Is this your wife? You got to come home with the whole loaf. You pay the cost to be the boss. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you on that. And Drax, how you doing? Says Tina Turner had no talent until
she had talent to sing, but how would she get exposed? Now, if you read the book, Tina, she kind of really admitted that where she was from, there was no really getting out of that situation. And she had a thing to sing, but just because you can sing, there's a certain way you got to sing. I'm not a music. Demetra's more of a music person than I am. You just can't go in there and be, you got to know how to sing. That's just the bottom line, especially studio singing and stuff like that. Demetra, tell us a little bit about it.
Yes,
even though your album went copper. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
it went, what is it? Rusty nickel. So you have to be trained. But I come on, I think it's fair to say that, Ike Turner Review, it was doing, I guess, big things, but it wouldn't have did the things that it did without Tina. Let's keep it real. Even in the publications that wrote about them, which is why he liked to put a foot to her ass every now and again, is because they pushed him to the back like, that's nice. We want to talk to Tina. And guess what? Ike was very emotional about that.
Yeah, absolutely. But in any group, the woman is always who the press wants to talk to. But I'm saying nobody's taking away her talent. Even though that isn't true what was in the movie, what was the one thing in the movie that she said that she wanted above anything else? The name. Exactly.
Right.
She built her reputation on that name.
She could have been Lula Mae McGurd for all we care, and she still would be the iconic person she is, okay? Sydney says, the hormones are just inverse until a certain age. Estrogen and testosterone. Women have menopause and men have andropause, can get HRT. But this idea that one sex has more is news to me. It does depend on weight and lifestyle. And my friend here is in the medical field. Okay, so he knows.
I'm not disputing that. All I'm saying is, a little bit of our generation and the generations older. How many emotional men did you run across, Demetra? Your dad, he's an emotional man, but you rarely see it. Logic.
I mean, I think everybody is emotional. I don't think there's no one, unless you're like a sociopath, psychopath, or something like that, where you're just devoid of emotions. Yeah. But I think most, like I said, everybody has emotions they need to deal with. To say that I have all my emotions in check and I don't, that means you're not human, right? We're all built to be emotional. It's just how much of a control do you have over those emotions? Do you understand what your triggers are? Do you know what's going to drive you to do and say certain things? So if you know those things, that you know how to deal with them when they come to you, and how to avoid them. So that's really what emotional intelligence is.
Right. Well, in movie trivia, in the Star Trek, the original motion picture, what was the one thing Spock was doing before he went back to the Enterprise? He was trying to purge himself of all his human emotion. Now, I personally have completed that form of Vulcan training. So that's why I'm very logical.
Hello, JP Judah Lion. How you doing? And Dusty Hotep, he says, no, y'all been attacking men through media since the damn Color Purple. We are way overdue to give some clap back. Okay, I can't tell y'all how to feel, which is emotional. You're better, says Demetra. If she was with friends and they knew Nicole Linton was drunk and arguing, why allow her to drive? Well, that's a good question. But at the end of the day, you know, she's in control of herself. Nobody can really tell her what to do. Now, if that was my friend, I'd have tackled her and took her keys. You know, I'd have been a little bit more demonstrative in making sure that she didn't get in the car. But I don't know. Then again, too, maybe they felt like she was all right. It's kind of hard to say, but I'm sure we'll find a lot out in the next coming days exactly what happened. And Lonnie says, I think it's a generational thing now. BBC Cucky says, free flock, free the thing, free the dot. I don't know what all that means, but I'm with it. And Sydney says, hey, I just did that, flip-flops and pajamas. I worked 13 hours and I was called in. Well, that's a different story, brother. You said you worked 3 months straight. So we don't give you a pass. Easy says, D, you look nice with your Victoria's Secret top on. Oh, well, thank you. You know what? I got this top from the thrift store. It was brand new Banana Republic linen from the men's section. So that's where this top came from. But thank you. I'm gonna keep reading. And K Mommy, how you doing? I don't know why I keep getting these spams up in here. Just like that. Maybe they're Donovan. I think they're talking to you. Love chat, best adult dating site. They want you. They think they're trying to get your attention, but I'm gonna block them. All right. And let's see here. Okay, so they were already blocked. Oops. What did I do? Oh, I hope I didn't block anybody. Oh no, I started this comment. Sorry. Okay. Scared me for a minute. Angela says a lot of Black absentee fathers out there. There are a lot, but there are a lot of Black fathers who are involved. Like they say that, to Donovan's point, he was trying to make that a lot of Black men don't live in the home with the children, but they are still involved with the children. So they might pick them up or, you know, have half the, you know, week or whatever, or however it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And don't forget the biggest deadbeat of all is white men. That's the biggest deadbeat of all. Yep.
Slave master, the baby daddy. Content creator says, can you man up with a man bun? You know, I don't have a problem with a man wearing a man bun. If it's neat, you know, some men don't want to cut their hair. If it's neat, if it's all over their head, look like, you know, who was that? On Friday said spiders having a meeting all over his head. And yeah, that's a different story. You know, comb it back, put it in the bun. Because, you know, there's some men who like long hair. But yeah, man bun is cool. Men having long hair. For those of y'all believe in the Bible, Samson had what? He had long hair. And what happened when he cut it? The power was in his hair. So I personally don't have a problem with it.
A woman's crown is a what? Her hair. Exactly.
And she's bald. Dark skinned brother too, he says, right now I'm more of a father to my brother's kids, and they are just like my kids, none of my own. But I think I'll make a great father, very protective of kids. I love it. See, you don't have to be the biological father to be a father or father figure. So that's awesome. And Marty says, let's not forget handsome man that is delicious, articulate, very clean. Anytime a man don't believe in bathing like those of European or bathing once a week or every 3 days, totally nasty. Girl, you ain't said nothing but a word. Every 3 days? And then they be wanting to lay up in the bed with you? I'm going to tell you one thing I'll say about a sister is we know how to get y'all together in that department. I don't think so. You're going to have to hop in the tub, the shower, something. We ain't going to be doing that around here. And Rain says, amen, Donovan. And DJPD News and Music. How you doing? Says, I pay the rent in my household. I know that's right. And Ali says, sagging pants, Nike slides, and dirty white socks, a common attire for brothers that shop at Walmart. Yeah, I've seen it. And again, I'm starting to see men in bonnets. I'm appalled. It's like, wow, a bonnet. First of all, in Houston, it's way too hot to be even. I don't even wear a bonnet, y'all. I kid you not, even in bed, I put this up in the ponytail and I have a silk pillowcase and I sleep like that because bonnets make my head hot, so I can't do it. So I can imagine being out in public with a.
When we were in Costa Rica, Demetra slept like this.
Shut up. And Kiki says, no, they said these men were involved in all aspects, meaning helping with homework, daily activities, extracurricular activities, etc. Come on, Donovan. Y'all can't switch back and forth because don't y'all brothers say, why is a woman putting a man on child support who's involved in the child's life? So that means involvement is very significant, even if Pops isn't in the home, right?
Yeah, but let's be real about this, okay? The structure of a man and a woman. So basically, when people get married, do they live together or do they live apart? Okay. Is it structurally good to raise children with the parents in different households? If that's the situation that you're confronted with, you got to do what you got to do. But ideally, traditionally, what has been the normal case? They're together, intact. You have a lot of kids that have been growing up in the last 2 generations that think it is totally normal to live over here and one live over there. They just think that's totally normal. Thus the breaking of the family unit. And there's an old saying in the world, it's an old saying in the Bible, you can break one branch very easily. It's very hard to break a bundle.
Got you. Fast enough, Phyllis. I'm gonna address this. You say I will work hard and get that big dollars to buy you what you need, but you better stay in shape, get in the kitchen and cook that full course meal and be showered and sexy up when I get home. And you know what?
The man's a genius.
Well, listen, I would say that most women don't have a problem with that. You know, if we doing everything we supposed to be doing, we working, you know, as a team and all of that. I can't. Okay, I won't say most women because there's a women who will. I'm gonna tell you, I can speak for me. I wouldn't have a problem with any of that at all. Matter of fact, you wouldn't even have to ask me to cook you nothing. You're gonna come in the house and it's gonna be aromas and flavors and all of that going. Go get yourself together, boo, and I'm gonna bring you your plate and something to drink. That's how I roll. I can't speak for nobody else. And Michael says, Dimitri, you sound more like a man than a woman. You know what is funny is I've kind of heard that before in how I think. Now, trust me, I'm all woman. You can believe that. But I don't even know if think like a man is such a thing. I would just say I understand certain things from a man's point of view. And that's probably because I have such a strong father in my life who is no holds barred when it comes to information. He's always been like that since I was a child. Long as I can remember, he's always told me, you know, my siblings and I, the unadulterated truth. And so I think a lot of that is, you know, I'm a daddy's girl too. So that might have a little to do with it. And I have a big brother who, you know, is very intelligent. And I have a younger brother who is also intelligent, very intelligent. So, and Donovan, he does all right, you know. Let's see here. And Kim, no. So I saw what you said, Kim. You want me to sing? Y'all don't want me to sing. I sound like some sandpaper in the cactus. And dark skin. So you talking to somebody else? Yeah, Simo, Lula May, what I say? Lula May, Moderna. So oh, Nikki says out loud, my Black sons express their emotions with me, safe and in the home. Then we speak about them. And if there was a better way for them to express them, yeah, I mean, and they should be able to be emotional because you don't want men who are devoid of emotions running around, right? Because you want them to be able to be relatable and not just to women, but to, you know, fellow men and just everybody else. But it's about having them in check. So you're doing an awesome job of talking to them and saying, okay, let's understand what you're feeling, right? And what we can do with it or how I can help you, you know, better regulate those. So that's awesome. More parents need to do that. And Pioneer says, I didn't care too much for Tina Turner. Her style was too aggressive and wild for me, especially the way she contorted her face when singing and performing. Y'all.
But those legs, man, she looks good. I mean, she looked good for a long time.
Yes, she did. Okay, so I'm behind. I'm going to catch all the way up. Timothy, there you go again. He says, big pretty eyes and cinnamon skin. I'm logging off till next time. The topic of investments. I'm curious as an investor. Dude, remind me of Tommy Davidson. Yes, Donovan has heard that quite a bit. And thank you so much for the donation. And I look forward to seeing you on Wednesdays with Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. CC, you say, I'm putting this up. He says, yes, Ike helped Tina to where she is, but at what cost? She almost paid with her life more than once. Yeah.
That is not true. That is not true. Not true. See, everybody, and I said, movies are for entertainment. Go read, and I'm going to say this. I, Tina. The book came out in the late 80s, right, Demetra? Go read that book, I, Tina. But then there was another book called I, Ike. You cannot break your jaw, then go on stage and go singing. So there's a lot of inflection and entertainment. And, you know, and it's so sad, but it also shows you how good an actress Angela Bassett is and all these actors. I mean, one of the most hated actors in the Black community is Danny Glover because of the role he played in The Color Purple. I mean, he made you believe men actually acted like that. And we are still getting the blowback because a lot of women believe Black men act like that. And some do, but not all of us. So go read the book, I, Tina. There's a lot of inflection in that. That is not true. She did not get beat all the time. That is not true.
There you go, Sydney. Says the original deadbeat was the Catholic priest, right? They don't want to talk about that though, right? Michael says, Donovan, you can talk to Demetra about getting paid because she is wise and smart to recover your money.
He's talking about my money that Phil owes me.
Oh, Phil don't owe him no money.
I need a contract. He stole my talent. You guys have heard it here first. I discovered her.
Oh. All right, let's see. And Lonnie says 40% of men don't have kids. I take your word for it. And let's see here. Al, you says, look at the season of Shy and you'll see how Rashad is being a better man because his girlfriend Deja, who is leveling him up. Yes, indeed. The season of the Shy is really, really good. I like the season of the Shy. And then Michael says, Demetra, you are more aggressive than being a gentle woman.
I would say passionate.
Very passionate. And I think maybe, because I get this sometimes too, that a lot of, you don't see a lot of women doing what I do. Now, there are a lot of women that do. You just don't see them with platforms and stuff. A lot of times when you see women with platforms, it's, you know, it's the other stuff. I don't want to say it's silliness because that's their content. But maybe that's why, I don't know. But I can be gentle. I'm very gentle. My daughter's like, but no, I can be. Sunlight says, who said that dumb ish? No, what? I'm so glad you're here.
This is a good part to end the show. Sunlight has shown up. Thank you guys again. No, go ahead.
Hula Gang, how you doing? He says, you like meatloaf? I can do meatloaf. I can do it. Timothy, he says, I heard what you said about being in the kitchen. You heard that, didn't you, boo? You heard that?
Hey, James said it on Good Times. If James can say it on Good Times, it's law. It's good.
And thank you once again. I'm glad you heard that. But no, that is the absolute truth. It's my pleasure. It is my pleasure to do those things for my man. I mean, it is. What? Moni says, I like a man with long hair. My dad had very long hair and went past his bottom. Then he had to have it cut to the middle of his back up to where a woman's bra strap, full with no bald patches. I know that's right. Yeah, I don't have a problem with a man having long hair as long as it's, you know, it looks like it's trying to do something. Like if he ain't combed it, he got couple bugs all over it. Nah, I'm gonna pass on that one. Cindy says, speaking of what you said, how do you start with transitioning from eating meat to becoming a vegan? I just stopped cold turkey. I was already a vegan. I started in 2014 and I was that for 7 years. And then, you know, once I moved to Houston, I was like, there's just like a lot of food here. And so I started eating meat and I went on for like a year and I'm back, you know, because I felt better as a vegan. But for me, it was cold turkey. Some people have to kind of go like vegetarian before, so that you eat fish and cheese and that kind of stuff. And then you go off of it. For me, it was no more. For now, anyway. I don't want to never say never, right? Okay, and let's see here. Jessica, he says, the problem is a whole lot of women want to work even when they don't have to. They don't want to stay home with the kids and keep the home. They think, quote unquote, it makes them look weak. Shaking my head. Yeah. Some women, huh?
What economy?
My daughter's the peanut gallery over here. You say what economy?
In what economy is that realistic for women not to work?
I mean, there's some men that make enough money for a woman not to work. But I will say this. The woman's job is more than just staying at home and cooking, you know, and washing clothes and kids. A woman is also supposed to be a good steward over the money. So if the man is out there working, she is supposed to know how to spend it to where she can, you know, save for the household and get what the household needs. She's not, you know, as my dad says, he's bringing in a spoonful of money and she's shoveling it out the back door. She's, you know, allocating the money appropriately. So a lot of times the woman that's staying home, she's an accountant and a whole host of other titles. And so there's possible for a woman to stay home if, you know, she's wise with the money. And, you know, do you need 2 cars? If the woman is staying home, maybe, I don't know, she can drop the man off to work or whatever, because that's what they used to do back in the day. I remember there was a time when my family had 1 car because my mom was a stay-at-home mom and my dad, you know, had the car.
And the thing is now with technology, women definitely could stay home if they want to work and still raise the children and stuff like that. Because again, men do not care about your education and we don't care about your job and how much money you bring in. Real men don't care about that. Quote Kevin Samuels.
Okay. Easy says, D, are generous men considered soft or weak? I don't think they're either. I don't think generous men are soft or weak, but I will say this. It depends on who they're being generous to. Are they being generous to a woman who is going to reciprocate and appreciate that? Or are they being soft or weak, you know, per se? Are they being generous to a woman who is simply trying to bump them over their head and just try to get them for their riches? So I think it's in the eye of the woman or who, you know, they're being generous to, if that makes any sense. And Michael says, Donovan and Dimitri, do you agree that Black men want to marry or date white women because they're more emotional stable than Black women are? Nah, I mean, I don't even know if we know damn well white women ain't more emotionally stable than Black women. I think Black women get a bad rap. White women have less to deal with than Black women. So if you give a white woman the same set of circumstances that Black women have, and I'm not even talking about in regards to men, I'm just talking about as Black people, then that white woman would be deemed emotionally unstable as well. But I don't know why Black men, I could speculate why they like dealing with white women, but it just depends, right? It just depends on the man, I guess. But if most men, if men are being a white women because they hate Black women, then that's a problem. So I hope that helps. And let's see here. Allie says, Donovan and Dimitri, our family, a bond much stronger than blood can ever be. That's right. Donovan and I are, yes. If Donovan was here or I was there, I'd have been tearing those ribs up. Be quiet. What you talking about? Kicking them under the table. You know, like brother and sister. Absolutely. It's all love, always. Somebody is really trying to get your attention, Donovan, this love dating site. And how you doing? And Angela says she got beat enough, though. Yeah, talking about Tina Turner. And Brian, how are you? Glad that you can make it. And Old School, how you doing? So Danny Glover is hated more because he was out there buck dancing for the Asians. So not Mr., huh? Mr. for the color purple. And let's see who else came on here. I see y'all with the color purple stuff here. And then Michael says, Dimitri, maybe you can sweet talk to the brothers because I'm sure they want to know you as a person. I sweet talk to the brothers all the time. However, that ain't why I'm on here. I'm on here to impart wisdom and knowledge.
How can you sweet talk brothers when you stay at the house all day?
All day. You know what I'm saying? I get up to that, go to the park and I run. And I come back and I work, and then, you know, when the sun goes down, or even before the sun goes down. So that's just how boring I am. Even sometimes before the sun goes down, I'm like, well, I'm done for the day. Time to go to bed. I'm in bed and it's still daylight outside, right? But admittedly, it doesn't get dark here until 8:30. Plus, I get up sometimes at 4:30. So I'm up early all day. So, but I mean, I hope y'all don't think I'm coming off as mean. And Shamar says, Donovan, he says Donovan is the kind of guy that believes in alternative facts.
That's right. Trump won. Think about this, you guys. Think about this. If they can screw Bernie in the Democratic Party twice, could it be possible that they stole the election? Just kidding, but think about it.
Yeah, Moni, even wrapping my head up is hot. I sweat a lot in my head. I do. Cindy says, yes, there are several cases of Ebola in Africa and other viruses similar to Ebola. That's why I stay in the house. And Lonnie says, that was traditional, the kitchen to the bedroom. I mean, yeah, again, I'm going to say this. A lot of you men nowadays, when y'all talk about traditional women, y'all are really talking about a glorified blow-up doll. That's what y'all talking about. Y'all want her to say, what are you having to eat? Okay, I'm going to go back to the corner. Oh, you want it, Mommy?
Demetra, do you think your sister would even meet that description with me? I like her because of her beautiful mind. Yes, she's attractive. She's a monster, got a monster body, but it's her mind.
I see what you did there. You know what? My sister would take you here and then she'd take you there, like Martin Payne's mama. Let me go back to this because, oh my gosh. Yes, Fast Not Feeling says, once you stop eating meat, you will get sick less often. I will say that it's true. I have a lot more energy now. Like I said, 4:30, I'm like, come on, son, I'm ready to get up. Like I'm to the point where like I only need a couple of hours of sleep. Kimmy, you are too funny. Says cold turkey, no pun intended, Demetra, because you know you vegans don't eat meat. Har, har, har. E.L. Stokes, how you doing? Says emotions have nothing to do with anything. She was drunk as hell and did what drunk people do. Alcohol should be banned. How many millions of deaths from alcohol in our lifetime? I totally agree with you, but I think it takes an emotional person to get in a fight with their boyfriend and drink. Because her friend did say that she got in a fight with her boyfriend, got drunk and jumped in the car. Getting in a fight with your boyfriend and getting drunk because of that tends to be a little bit on the emotional side. And the alcohol, perhaps clouded her judgment. If indeed she was drunk, because there's no toxicology report to really indicate that was a fact. But from what her friends are saying, that's what happened. But yeah, I agree with you. Alcohol does cause a lot of deaths. And they're saying hi to you. Kimmy said hi to you. She says hello. And Kiki says 40% of Black women don't have kids either, but single moms get all of you brothers' attention while the childless ones are passing y'all by. Ask yourselves why.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to disagree with that because it's not the numbers. What it is, it's the media that portrays that. And of course, Black people, we don't control any. We 3% of the media in the United States. It's the white media that is pitting Black men against Black women. So I'm gonna have to disagree with that.
All right, I'm gonna let y'all have that. And so Sunlight says to have my daughter call you. I surely will. And I'm looking at some of these comments. Let me get to the bottom. And Mike NYC, how you doing? He says, I'm tired of this. Speak on something else, please. Well, throw something else in the comments. I would love to talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Throw it in the comments. I said that, 30 minutes ago. Put it in the comment section if y'all want to talk about something else, whatever it is. And Breezy, Louise, I think that's how you say, how you doing? It says, I ain't going to read that one. I'm going to let Donovan handle that one. Michael says, Demetra, you need to slow down with your brothers in case if you do decide to date them in the future. I'm not going very fast. I'm just, how do y'all say in the South? I'm just fair to middling. Thunder says, this is why Kevin Samuel said for men to level up and make enough to take care of the household. This way women can be motherly and nurturing and feminine as she was created to be. Men must be men and women must be women. Yeah, it's easier for a woman to rest in her femininity if she is able to do that, right? If she's got to go, earn some of the bacon, vegan bacon, come home, take care of the kids, the household, him, cook and all of that. Yeah, it's very hard to be feminine, right? But if she's, at home and she could do all of that and he's doing the hard part, because it's very hard to go outside and work. It's also hard to, take care of the household, but it'll leave her room to say, okay, my baby finna come home and, he gonna get it. I'm just saying. Kiki says, white women are sneakier about their emotions. They suppress them better. Y'all better, where'd it go? Y'all better start watching Oxygen or the IG channel. It tells you the truth. Absolutely. And let's see here. Sydney says, Demetra K, when you get a chance, elbow Donovan for me. I will. Yes, the hula gang. It's like a blow up doll. That's what I'm hearing. Blow up doll. Y'all want a blow up doll? Y'all don't want her to have an opinion. And y'all also, and Michael, maybe this will help you too. A lot of times when I hear this, you're a traditional, you're a modern woman, it almost alludes to me that y'all men don't want a woman who's smart or who has an opinion. That y'all take it for, are you talking too much? You got something to say. Y'all just want a woman with just cushion in her head, and she just has
bingo.
Right. And she just got a couple of words. Yes and yes. That's it.
Bingo. We'll give you your opinion.
I love you too, Lonnie. And Moni says, Demetra, when you're gorgeous, well-educated, articulate, know how to keep a house clean, know how to cook, that is the essence of a beautiful queen, but a lot of men don't appreciate it. They'll get a thought. My daughter said, every time. William, how you doing? And Ray says, Donovan, I believe you about the election for real. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, you guys. Nobody brings that up and thinks about they screwed Bernie twice when he ran for president in the Democratic primary. Could it be possible that they used that same apparatus at the national level to make sure Trump didn't get reelected? Not, but we know that what the story is. But the point is, they have the power to do it.
Yes, William. And I read some about that, but I didn't get into the details, as she's an actress, and Hayes may have been driving under the influence as well, and almost took herself out. That day must have been 2-for-1 special on crashes. Yeah, said her crash was fiery as well, and she ran into a house or something like that. And and Gilberto, you said, why should alcohol be banned? Because people do not control their drinking. I agree. I mean, they tell you, right, to drink responsibly, right?
Right, but then using that same analogy, why should guns be banned? Because people do bad things with guns. What about the people that are good with guns?
I agree with that. It's not the guns that harm people. I mean, it does in the long run, but it's the people who pull the trigger. And Facts Not Feelings, she says, am I asking too much if a woman says you have to make over $150,000 for to be with her? And I may say my only request for her is to have her and another woman in a relationship. Lord have mercy.
Okay, you bring up a good point. And again, unfortunately, KS brought this up. Only, I believe it's like 12% of men in the Black community are in, don't quote me on the number, but it's a really small number. It's like less than 12% of Black men make six figures or more. The average median of Black men is about $47,000. So if you're making $150,000 in the Black community, and let's say you're about 35 years old, would you say you would have options? I think you would.
I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Demetra K ain't sharing no man, knowingly anyway. I'm not sharing no man. I would rather be single. I really would. I would rather die in a casket with my neighbor and, my daughter standing there than me to be going through life sharing a man. I don't care how much money, man. I don't care if you make $150 a month. You're making $150,000 a year. I am not sharing a man, period, point blank. And you know why? Because I do not have the emotional intelligence for me to sustain being in a relationship with a man who's in a relationship with other women, because I would be on cell block H, baby. I would be in the cafeteria in the prison talking about you want cornbread or you want rice.
No, you wouldn't be that. You would be the jailhouse lawyer getting everybody their appeals and stuff. But the thing is, here's the sad thing. Men that make significant amount of money, KS even said this. Look at your Nick Cannons. Look at your Futures. Look at these guys that have multiple women and multiple having babies, basketball players, and all these entertainers. You want to know why they can do that? Because they make that amount of money to do so, and women put up with it.
I ain't going, brother. Facts Not Feelings. She says, in the near future, blow up doll sex dolls will give women a run for their money. I mean, I got to be clean because my daddy do be watching. But y'all ain't the only one that can get something. I mean, if y'all content with a blow up doll, who am I? just be careful to use a lot of, you keep a lot of masking tape on hand in case.
Yeah, patches. Have your patches.
Yeah, because ain't nothing like having a flat blow up doll. Let's see here. Yes, Lonnie says, be careful with Becky. And Michael says, I remind you of Tony in Girlfriends. Which one was Tony? I didn't really watch Girlfriends much.
Wasn't that Golden Brooks? What her name? Golden Brooks.
First of all,
Her name?
that's offensive.
Oh, my daughter says that's not good. I don't.
My mama ain't no damn Tony.
she said. My daughter said my mama ain't no damn Tony. I don't know. I don't watch it. Y'all tell me. And Kimmy says the iconic idea of June Cleaver, that's a freak in the bed. And she might have been, but you know, the good thing about a June Cleaver is we would never know because ladies never kiss and tell. You know, she might have been hanging all from the chandeliers and swinging from the bedposts, but we never knew that, right? And that's a good thing. Hooligan says, are we funny today? And Thunder says she at least has to be smart enough to know to call 911 if the house is on fire. Just kidding, you crazy. And Jessica, he says, women were okay with what men made until all of a sudden women start believing that all men have to make six figures for a family to live, which we know is not true thanks to social media. Yeah, that's just, I mean, because a lot of Black men are not making that. Let's just keep it real, right? But I think in today's society, we know that the woman is going to have to do something. There's a lot of men who are making a lot of money, but realistically, a lot of women are going to have to do something to earn some sort of an income, or whether she's helping or whatever, you know.
OnlyFans.
Nah. All right, so let me get down. And Rain says, I cook, clean, and work. Same here. Sunlight says, well, hell yeah, they fixed
I got 2 jobs.
Shut up. Says, well, hell yeah, they fixed it. Trump was on the way to winning. Then those overnight ballots just popped up out of nowhere. All right. Yes, indeed. And Jessica says, are you guys going to talk about that 19-year-old white girl named Audrey Lauber who got caught with more stuff than Brittany Griner in Russia too, but only got 2 months? I would just say this. White people are going to be white people here
in a white nation, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I keep seeing that meme floating around about the white woman got less time. It was like, she white. Of course she's going to get less time. You know, I mean, I don't know why we are surprised at that, but I think it sucks, you know, on just to keep it real, because it sounded like the white girl had more stuff than she did, but she white. And also, we know that now, you know, Brittany has honestly become a bargaining tool because the Marine was over there, has been over there since 2018.
But so, he actually was a spy, though. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, espionage. But the point that I'm making is they're in between a war. And I think that's really Putin's way of continuing to call Biden's bluff. And, you know, Brittany is a high profile catch. Let's keep it real. She is. So I see why they did it. Because if they give her a slap on the wrist, then where is the negotiating going to go from there? We know Brittany's going to get out in 2 months, right? So I think it's more strategic than anything.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you guys, and this is why they talk about the ugly American. You guys that don't travel a lot, you got to understand this. When you go to other countries, your constitutional rights mean zero over there. You are a guest. It's like going into somebody's house and they have a sign on their door that says, remove your shoes when you come in. What, just because you're an American and you think you got rights, you're just going to walk in with your muddy shoes? That is not going to happen. So everybody keeps talking about, oh, it was a little bit of weed, whatever. That's not the point. You're in another country.
I mean, I just, to me, I feel like Brittany is going to be all right. I tried myself not to get worked up over things that I don't have no control over if Brittany gets out or not. I don't believe she'll do 9 years. I believe she'll be home sooner rather than later. It's election season, so which is good for her that she got caught up over there during election season. So, you know, they're going to need they're going to need to be able to say they did something, just like they did with the whole Breonna Taylor situation.
That's coming out, right?
That they federally are charging those officers is right on time, right? Because
but the funny thing is, the officer that actually killed her, he isn't getting charged. He isn't getting charged.
Well, the officers, it was two actually.
Yeah.
Actually, it was three officers that did the shooting, and that's okay, Tony. Michael, and it's not a big deal. I know you didn't mean any harm. There was actually three officers that did the shooting. One of them that was tried a couple of months ago. He actually was tried for shooting into the neighbor's apartment. Was not tried for shooting into Rihanna's apartment, but the two officers that did shoot into the apartment, they were not charged because they went off of the strength of the warrant. They thought it was true, in fact, and it wasn't. They didn't know that the other officers that were tried or are being charged actually doctored and lied about the warrant. So that's why they're not being charged. If that, not that is right, but it was a no-knock warrant. So y'all know the nature of a no-knock warrant. All right. And Kiana, how you doing? Says, think about it. If Trump really lost 2020, why are Democrats fighting so hard to make it so Trump can't run in 2024? If he didn't have the votes then, he wouldn't have them now. Or did he have the votes? I don't know. I just know that there was a lot of what they say independent, counting professionals or whatever it was that says that he was not cheated. Even some of his own fellow Republicans said, yeah, there's nothing here. He lost fair and square. And also the amount of votes that Joe Biden won by was significant. It wasn't like the whole Florida thing in 2000 where it was close, the hanging chads and all of that. It wasn't even close. So
yeah, he actually did lose. And the fact of the matter is, what doomed Trump was the fact that he galvanized people that hadn't voted in years because of some of the stuff that he was doing in his racism and all that other stuff. That just galvanized a bunch of people. And of course, the backbone of the Democratic Party, the black woman, came through with the black man right behind him, saving democracy once again.
Absolutely. All right, so let me go on to the bottom. Kimmy. And so Williams actually say 29% of us men made six figures or more. Less than a third of all American men made more than 100,000 in 2020. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What Kimmy says. I just learned about Mark Fogel, an educator from America, is beginning his 14th year imprisonment for cannabis. Okay. And so is that is he in Russia?
Yeah, and have you guys noticed, everybody keeps talking about how weed is all this great thing. Look at all of the examples, especially in the black community, where smoking weed has cost people millions of dollars or a livelihood. Sha'Carri Richardson, Brittany Griner, so on, so forth. And I'm not saying, you can't do what you want to do, but that's one of the reasons I'm like, no, it's not for me. It's something I'm not going to do.
Yes, indeed. And Kimmy says, as I understand it, it was said that the election was fortified. It says this from two Democrats said with a long smirk. Okay.
Well, so yeah, if you've been in this country long enough, your leaders are already decided for you. They give you the impression, we're a republic. They give you the impression like you're in control, but you're really not. Our leaders are pre-selected. They're already, it's already done. The Democratic Party, the Republican Party, they're the same party. It's called the ruling party of white supremacy. That's what it's about.
Michael says, Donovan and Dimitri, have you seen Exit Wounds where Orrin Boyd has a bad temper and gets demoted? I have not. Is that a movie or something? And Rain, you say, Donovan, we would be out of our minds and off code. And Facts Not Feelings says, great story on Breonna Taylor, murder Demetra. I suspect if government does not change these people with conspiracy, these people with conspiracy, they will either get off or get very light sentences. Yeah, so they're saying some of those sentences could get a life sentence. Now y'all know that they did not charge them with murder, but they charged them with some civil rights offenses, conspiracy, and unlawful use of force, and things like that. So unlawful use of force, I think, is probably as close as you're going to get to a murder charge. Now, of course, you guys know I'm not a lawyer or nothing like that, but we've watched a lot of cases and we've seen these things play out. And so what they did not want to do, I would imagine, I'm not making excuses for the DOJ, is they probably did not want to overcharge, because for them to try to go for a murder, for them to try to go for murder one would be very hard to prove, because they have to prove intent and it had to be without a shadow of a doubt. Now, it could be very plausible that they went on a false warrant, not meaning to kill anybody. maybe they, because they knew it was all made up and all of that. It was plenty of evidence. And even after they killed her, they met afterwards in a garage, conspiring, saying we're going to make up a story and say this, that, and the other happened. So even with all of that, they still would have to prove intent beyond the shadow of a doubt. So that would kind of be hard to prove. So I think maybe they're being strategic about it and saying we're going to get some of these things that we can prove, like conspiracy, lying about the warrant, and a whole host of other things that, again, like I said, some of those things could net them a life sentence. So it's not a win until they get prosecuted, and not just no slap on the wrist, right? Because Daniel Cameron, the AG there in Kentucky, he gave him all a slap on the wrist, did not even want to charge Brett Hannibal. That's the white guy, the one cop that did get charged. He lied on the grand jury, actually saying, well, the grand jury didn't see fit to, do anything, charge him either more. And the grand jury is like, he lying. They never presented us with any more charges. And so I think Daniel Cameron, the AG, should be brought up on charges as well for lying. He really should be. All right. So let's see here.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Daniel Cameron, it was his office that said that the warrants were legit. Come to find out it wasn't. So yeah, he should be brought up in a conspiracy.
Well, again, you have to prove that he knew that the warrants were forged, because as far as I know, they probably would have gone to a judge. And it sounds like maybe the judge was given bad information, because they even said the post office told one of the officers that's the wrong address, completely wrong address, but they went ahead anyway. So
right. But think about this, that judge, which is a white woman. Okay, if you're a judge, and most judges deal with law enforcement, why haven't those officers been called back into her courtroom and admonished or fined or do something? That white woman has refused to bring them back, even though we now found out that all that stuff is false, that she's letting it go.
As far as in Kentucky?
Yeah. Because think about it. If I lied to you, you're the judge, you're just not going to let me just say, okay, oh, the hell with it. You're going to come back and I have to give you answer questions of why this thing was falsified with your name on it. You know what I mean? It came through you. Yeah.
I mean, unless she was just going through the chain of command, because the top cop pretty much for the most part was, Daniel, I don't keep on calling him Daniel Cameron, and maybe they were going, I'm not saying it was right, but I'm just saying, if I'm thinking about things logically, they probably was like, well, shit, they got a slap on the wrist, and that's Mitch McConnell's boy, literally, right? Daniel Cameron is. And so there's a lot to unpack there as to why those cops got away with it for as long as they did, almost 3 years. And then now they're still saying that the Kentucky Police Department in Louisville is like, well, we're in the process of firing them. It's like, really? Is it that hard? So, okay, Michael. So yeah, I'd have to check that. I don't know. I might have seen that. My memory is getting bad. And Kiki says, thank you, Donovan. I keep saying weed was not legal for Black people. It was legalized for others to make revenue. Black people are going to get the bad brunt of its legalization. Just wait and see.
That's what I'm saying. Look at all of these entertainers, athletes that are just losing their careers and millions of dollars over some damn weed. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I live in Texas, and I can't tell you how many times, we're driving down the street, and I'm like, is that weed coming out the car? Like, don't they know it ain't legal here? They smoking weed and it's just pluming all out the car. I'm like, man, what I understand, the prison system ain't that nice here. So why would you want to risk going to prison? And I'm on Sharpert, or whatever his name is, Tiana Taylor's husband. He got caught up in a Dallas airport with weed as well. So it's like, brother, you better be happy.
NBA star, exactly.
Yeah, you better be happy you in America, not over there in Russia. But it's like, they talking about, well, can I go home? I need to catch my plane to go. I guess his daughter had a recital or something. It's like, well, you didn't think about that before you decide to traffic weed through the airport? I mean, I don't know. And Michael, you say there's a Green Party candidate running in Texas. Is it really? And I know there's a new party called Forward Party. And I think that's of Andrew Yang and them. They're spearheading that, the Forward Party, basically saying we're not left, we're not right, we're forward. So interesting concept, if you ask me. William says she is a white woman judge and on code with the ideology of white supremacy. Boom. Plain and simple. That's exactly what it is. She wasn't going to do anything differently than was being done. So that was kind of where I was going with it. Like, it's coming from the top down, and Daniel Cameron didn't charge him, so she's probably like, okay, next case.
And Daniel Cameron recently married a white woman again.
Yeah, well, that's where his allegiance is. And Michael says Demetri and Donovan 100% Republican in 2022. I'm nonpartisan. I'm not on any side of the aisle, if you will, because I don't want them to assume my vote. But if I needed to vote Republican, I don't have a problem doing that. I'm not like a lot of Black people like, oh, it's the Democrats, it's blue no matter who. No, I'll vote for what my interest and what I feel like is in the interest of my people. So absolutely, William says can't fix stupid, Demetri. And Kimmy says, look out, Demetri, you might get a contact high just walking by. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, what's wrong with these people, man? They ain't like I said, I wouldn't want to go to prison in Texas for nobody at all. Send me back to California.
Sandra Bland, traffic ticket, ended up murdered.
Yes, William says weed is not legal anywhere, especially in the African continent. Check the rules before you go to a country. If you need 420 that bad to risk prison, perhaps you need an intervention. Well, this is the thing too, because before the argument was that weed is not addicting, but Dr. Wesley Muhammad of the Nation of Islam, he talks about it as a series and talks about the things that they are doing to weed, and they're actually saying, I saw somewhere where they said that weed is actually becoming more addicting because of the things that they're doing to it. It's not like you just got it out your backyard like they did back in the day. They processing it, which you would think people would think about it like, damn, now you got these companies that are in the marijuana business. Like, what the hell are they doing to it? If they doing something to your food, why wouldn't you think they was doing something to your weed?
Yeah, if they're doing something to your cigarettes, giving you nicotine, the vape canisters and stuff like that. I mean, why aren't we thinking logically that this could possibly happen?
Oh yes. Oh, I didn't even realize it was 22 minutes over. So Michael, you said, what are my interests? Well, as far as politically speaking, my interest is whatever is going to better that of Black people. Whatever candidate is going to address systemic and institutional racism, that is a big factor in holding Black people back. Whoever is going to seriously address that of reparations. We don't want no study. We don't want somebody to think about it. We want somebody to take their ass to in Congress, to the Senate floor, or whatever, and say, this is the bill we have. We need to pass it because a horror has been exacted upon Black people and their ancestors, even still to this day. And we want reparations. So that's my interest. And obviously that's not just what it is, but let's start right there. Like I said, systemic and institutional racism. And then that's who I will vote for. But to me, they all sound the same. And of course, y'all heard, what's his name? President Biden talk about they cracking down on people who scamming with the PPP loans. And they've stretched it out for a 10 years of, statute of limitation, 10 years. And it's like, you son of a biatch. You gonna go after people? Listen, I'm not saying people cool for scamming with the PPP loans, but you going after people for the PPP loans and you giving out billions of dollars to other countries and you talking about we gonna get that money back from the people scamming for PPP loans. Anybody who continues to vote for Biden or the Democrats are fools. This man is telling you that I'm coming down on American people for this PPP stuff with the fullest extent of the law, but you're giving those same people's money away to somebody else. Perhaps if you gave billions of dollars to the American people, they wouldn't have needed the PPP loans in the first place. But Biden is that dude, right? He is the dude. He showed us who he was for his 50 years of tyranny in Washington, making all these, crazy ass crime bills and everything else you can think of. And here he is. Most of the time when he stands at the podium, he's wagging his finger and admonishing the American people. But yet he keeps talking about, things are getting better, this, that, and the other. No, it's not, sucker. You sending our money overseas and you talking about locking people up. How dare you? And how dare y'all if y'all continue to vote for him and anybody like him? I'm just saying. And so, so Michael, you're running for president in 2024. Is that what you're saying? Okay. All right. And Lonnie says, right, both parties don't never do what they say they're going to do before they get elected. No, they just be lying. And Manrico, how you doing? It says, with the reparations conversation, marijuana investment might be a great way to make that happen. Yes, indeed. I mean, California is very expensive to get a marijuana license, like $26,000, and you may not get that money back if you're not selected to, open up.
That's the application.
Exactly. All right. So William, you said today's weed never touches soil. It's hydroponic.
Right, hydroponic.
You just get high and that's it. But the question is high on what, right? And Facts Not Feeling says Cameron is one of the brothers that will step on the backs of working class poor blacks to get personally ahead. People like that are one of the reasons why blacks collectively can't rise in the USA. Yeah, because how many people voted for him on the strength of him being black? And look what he's doing. He is the worst thing since a lot of stuff.
I think we have a vice president that did the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's what most of them do. Kiki says they're lacing this weed with everything, all kinds of synthetic substances. All people are doing it in clothes on cars with kids and babies in here in Florida. It's crazy. Yeah, I've seen people do it with the kids in the cars. Like, oh my God, you really should go to jail.
Oh man, they go to the park watching their kids as they're in the car smoking the drugs and stuff. Sad.
Absolutely. So anyway, that's the end of the discussion. We love and appreciate y'all. We've been on here almost 2.5 hours. Woo! But it's our pleasure. So we'll be back down when I say we, me, and Donovan on Tuesday. It won't be live. It'll be some sort of a discussion, a podcast. If y'all have any ideas, please let us know. We would love
Donovan and I.
Me and Donovan. Yes, Donovan and I will be on Tuesday podcast. Also, then Walter with the Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. And then, of course, watching my videos throughout the week and on the African Diaspora News channel. If you guys are not subscribed there, go over there. We also have a website where you guys can go and get unadulterated content, not the kind that's watered down on YouTube, because, on YouTube, we got to be careful. But on that one, if the gloves are off and y'all going to get the truth, like the truth, y'all get the truth, but y'all going to get the truth, right? So go over there and check it out and everything like that. Of course, Brother Phil Donovan, also, his information is in the description box. Y'all, please go over there and follow Donovan. You haven't been on live in a while, I guess. Are you still restricted?
No, well, medical things popping up, and I'm going to get back on it.
Are you? Is somebody with child?
Not yet. I'm working on it.
All right, y'all. We love and appreciate y'all. Again, we do have a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. If y'all want to donate, become a member, like the video at the very least. And thank you guys to the members and everybody who contributes to this channel. We could not do this without you. So we will see y'all later. Donovan, are you left-handed, Donovan? You're not left-handed, are you?
I'm ambidextrous.
Yeah, same here, believe it or not. All right, y'all. So we'll see y'all later. Peace.